following program is paid for and presented by John DeMasi. The opinions expressed are not those of Town Square Media or station advertisers.
WPG Talk Radio 95.5 presents Talk with a Purpose. Join the conversation by calling 609-407-1450. Now, the host of Talk with a Purpose, John DeMasi.
Well, nothing to talk about as usual today on the program. Good morning and welcome to another edition of Talk with a Purpose every Saturday, 9 till noon, here on WPG Talk Radio 95.5. Also heard on 1450 AM and online at WPGTalkRadio.com. We should mention that 1450 is not there right now. Okay. They're fixing, okay? But they were fixing last week. They're fixing this, but we promise this will be the last week of fixing, all right? Famous last words. And you can also listen online at WPGTalkRadio.com. We're going to talk about a festival today, just a little preview. Later on in the show, about 11 o'clock, John Runfellow, chairman of the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, and he'll be here to talk about the Red, White, and Blueberry Festival, which is coming up, believe it or not, at the end of the month on June 25th. So John will be here to talk about that, and it's a great day for the whole family and a lot of fun, and so we'll talk about that. But in between time, we'll just be you and me talking about everything that we talk about here on the show. And as always, the number in the studio, 609-407-1450, 609-407-1450. If you have a hat, you want to throw it in the ring, right? What am I talking about? Now everybody is declaring they are candidates for the Republican nomination for president in 24. I don't mean everybody, but let's see. We got a list here. Tim Scott, senator from South Carolina. Former Vice President Mike Pence, he'll declare next week. Nikki Haley is in the race. Asa Hutchinson of Arkansas, he's in the race. Vivek Ramaswamy, and I have never heard of him, but I know he's in there, and he's a very intelligent guy, but that's about all I know. And, of course, Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, and not to be outdone, Donald Trump. But we left one out. Yes, we left one out. And he is none other than Chris Christie, former New Jersey governor. Do you believe that he is running, or that he's going to announce he's running, or who knows what he's doing? But former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie left office as the least popular governor in the state. His approval rating when he left was 13%. 13%. How could, I mean, that's unheard of. And I remember when I first came on the air, it was like, it was the countdown. Well, this week it was 30. This week it was 27. This week it was 24. It just kept going down each and every week. And it just continued and continued. Finally, he left office, thankfully, at 13%. So now he's going to run for president. You think he's got a good track record? Oh, I don't know. The advisors to Chris Christie have formed a super PAC to support his expected presidential bid. And here's his strategy for running against, well, he's going to attack, he's really going to attack Donald Trump. Talk about talking out of both sides of your mouth. He is, of course, he's been very critical. You see him on ABC and all the other, wherever shows he's on. He's been very critical of Donald Trump. But remember, as Bob said, we're on the same team, so I don't understand what this is all about. But he just wants to be president. The formation of this super PAC is called Tell it like it is, being led by Brian Jones, who was advisor to the presidential bids of John McCain and Mitt Romney, and of course both of those lost. So, okay, Christie and his allies have concluded that the only way to win the nomination is to go directly through Trump. According to reports, Christie wants to get on the debate stage with Trump and list his failures or unfulfilled promises, like failure to repeal Obamacare and his vow to build a wall along 2,000 miles of U.S. southern border and make Mexico pay for it, and that, of course, didn't happen. During a recent town hall in New Hampshire, Christie called Trump a failure on policy and a failure on character, saying he is nothing more than a TV star. Okay. Christie has got his work cut out for him, but it appears that some people are telling him what he wants to hear. But I don't understand this. These people who are running the super PAC are going to people and they're saying, hey, how would you like to contribute to this? Chris Christie for president, with the track record that he had as governor. Wouldn't you think that people that have money are smart and they'll think twice about this and they'll say, well, wait a minute. Christie doesn't really have that much of a chance, so should we contribute to this or what? So that's what I'm really confused about. But apparently this super PAC has raised a lot of money. But who would contribute? Who would contribute to that? And really, does he think that he's got a shot at the presidency? I mean, with all the candidates that we mentioned, I mean, Scott and DeSantis and Trump and Nikki Haley, and all of those have polled way higher than Christie. I think the last time we saw a poll, he was at 1%. So now you go to these people for the super PAC, you say, well, he's got a 1% chance of winning. Ridiculous. But Chris Christie is going to throw his hat in the ring, which means that we probably won't see him on ABC News anymore. Because you can't be a candidate and be on a show every week. So that's simple as that. But I just don't believe, but I really don't believe that the people are contributing money to this. And I mean, they've got to have raised millions because, you know, when these super PACs form and they go on TV and they put these ads on, they're not cheap. I mean, you can run millions of dollars up in a couple of weeks, if that. So it just boggles my mind. And what makes Chris Christie, I guess it's ego, because the last term when he was governor, all he did was run for president. He didn't govern New Jersey. And remember the famous line when he was on that beach, the private beach, and then he closed the beaches? He said, well, if you want to get on a private beach, become governor of New Jersey. Come on. Just stupid things like that. And he's got no shot. I just don't think he has any shot. And I don't see why people are even rallying behind him, except those that are close to him. And then they're telling him what he wants to hear. But make no mistake about it, Chris Christie will not, and I repeat, will not be the nominee, the Republican nominee for president in 2024. Mark my words. And do we have Seth on the line? Yes. Okay. With that, we bring in the one and only Seth Grossman. And before we get into this, Seth, a listener sent me an email, and he said, if Trump wins, does he get to slowly throw out these illegals? And I knew you would answer that. So what do you say?
He had 4 years. Anyway, let me just mention that libertyandprosperity.com are, of course, the folks paying for me to be here, so I don't want to get too sidetracked and forget the main mission. And, of course, libertyandprosperity.com, whatever I intend to talk about but never get to, all those articles are posted on the website. And, of course, we meet every Saturday morning from 9:30 to 10:30 at Sal's Brick Oven Pizza. Well, we don't have pizza for breakfast, but they have a banquet room, and we have a nice breakfast. And anyone who wants to participate in the discussion, you don't have to pay dues. You just pay for your own breakfast, and that's fine. But as far as Chris Christie is concerned, probably Trump's biggest mistake, and Christie may be right, is that for the first year of being president, Trump had Christie as his top advisor. And Christie picked all these swamp creatures to be, Trump's cabinet people. Trump would always be at his golf course. I forget his resort in North Jersey. Christie was a frequent visitor there. But the real method behind what Christie is doing is the real swamp, the real Republican establishment. Your Romneys, your Paul Ryans, that whole bunch. The last thing they want to see is a clear race between Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump. Because if you had that, the swamp loses either way, because both Trump and DeSantis will both stand up to them and take away their power. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to turn the Republican nomination process, instead of a clear-cut choice between two strong conservatives, Trump and DeSantis, they want to turn the whole thing into a circus that would knock out both Trump and DeSantis. They want to have 14 or 15 candidates. They want to have a total mess. They want to take down Trump and DeSantis, and that's about the only thing that Chris Christie is useful for. So I think that explains, what he's there for, and I think it also explains who's putting up the money for it. But that's just my thought, and as you know from past weeks, very often, I'm outnumbered quite a bit at our Liberty and Prosperity breakfast. But that's the opinion I'll be giving.
Okay, and what about a listener emailed me and said, if Trump wins, can he systematically get rid of illegals a little at a time?
Well, no, but that's what he failed to do, and that's probably my biggest beef with Donald Trump, because he kept talking about a wall. But if you want to stop, if you want to protect the border, if you want to stop illegal immigration, building a wall is meaningless, because no matter how high you build the wall, if illegal immigrants know that if they somehow get over or around the wall, they will never be deported, well, they'll just keep trying. And if they fail 9 times, they'll try until they get through in a 10th time. Anyone who knows how to enforce immigration laws knows that that every town is part of the border. So if you want to stop illegal immigration, you have to make it clear that if somebody is illegally in this country, and they get stopped for running a red light or a traffic violation, or their documents don't match up when they apply for a job, they will be detained and deported, just like what would happen in any other country in the world. So if everybody knows that if you go to America, even if you get through the wall, you're going to be deported, then they're not going to do it. And even more important, the criminal gangs that make money bringing illegals into the country, if they thought that if they brought someone into the country, they'd get deported and be unable to pay back, the price for getting here illegally, the whole thing would dry up instantly. And the big tragedy is Donald Trump as soon as he got in office, he stopped deporting illegal immigrants. He had the power to do so all along. Now, it's true, when he tried to deport the so-called dreamers, the people who came into America as small children years ago, the courts stopped Trump from doing that. But Trump always had the power to deport the people who came in yesterday, or the people who came in last month or the people who came in 5 years ago. Trump actually deported fewer people than Obama. And why was that? Well, we saw at the very beginning of Trump becoming president, the Immigration Service was deporting people. And you saw all these sad stories on TV. Oh, look at this poor, father. We're separating families. But if you want to defend your country and save your country, you have to do some unpleasant things. And Trump did not want that bad publicity. And he ordered his people, don't arrest illegal immigrants unless they're committing another crime. But the minute you say, if you're an illegal immigrant and if you don't commit any crimes, you could stay here as long as you want to, you're not going to you're going to have open borders. And that's exactly what we have. So I don't know if I answered the caller's question, but the fact is not only does Trump have the power to systematically deport every illegal immigrant in here without the consent of Congress, he had that power all 4 years he was president. But he chose then not to do it. And hopefully if he gets in again, he'd do it. But I think that's going to be a major issue in the campaign as to why he didn't do it when he had 4 years to do it.
So he didn't do it then, and you don't think, he could do it now.
He's promising to do it now.
Yeah, he's promising
He's saying, I was outsmarted by the swamp, and I'm going to do it right this time. Yeah. So, all right, so thank you very much for getting me in trouble with my own group already, Mr. DeSantis, Mr. DeMasi. So anyway, here's some things I'd like to talk about.
Go ahead.
And I don't know if you got this, but did you get a driver's license renewal this year?
No.
Okay, because if your license expired between last October and September, you got the following notice from Motor Vehicles in English and Spanish, and I want to read it word for word. It says, important notice of fee holiday. If $0 is reflected in the fee box of your renewal form, congratulations, you qualify for a fee holiday. Thanks to the new state budget and legislation signed by Governor Phil Murphy, all renewal fees for New Jersey driver's licenses and IDs with expiration dates from October 2022 to September 2023 qualify. And by the way, enclosed in this form telling you could renew your license without paying a fee, there's a voter registration form that's included in the package. So this is how Democrats win elections. They create all these government giveaway programs, and then they have the government employees tell the people getting these benefits that if they want to keep getting this free stuff, they need to register to vote and keep voting for Democrats. So I wonder how many of your listeners got that little notice, because people have been telling me about that.
Wow. Another trick up their sleeve.
Yeah. And again, that's I know I hate to get in that Trump DeSantis thing, but Trump is talking about making statements and saying things that the voters want to hear. DeSantis is more of a bureaucratic type. He sees how the Democrats do this systematic, institutional stuff, and I think we have to do both. We not only have to say the right stuff, but we have to stop government from using our tax dollars to win elections and to get voters this way. But that's a classic case. And not only has Murphy been doing this with motor vehicles, he does it with all the, your free electric bills, your free gas bills, your free rent, your free this, your free that. Every time New Jersey government employees are giving these benefits to people, they're reminding, oh, by the way, here's your voter registration form. Make sure you vote. Make sure you remember who's giving you this stuff.
I'll tell you, it's just unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, one thing I do want to talk about is that there's an election on Tuesday, and I don't know if you've talked much about it. It's the primary election. A lot of people say, well, I don't like the Democrats because they're doing this. I don't like the Republicans. They're doing that. We have the uniparty. We need a third party. But the fact is that both the Democrat and Republican parties are run by voters, and they pick their candidates and they pick their leaders at these elections that are held every June, the first Tuesday in June, And, the election is coming up, I believe it's June 6th on Tuesday.
This Tuesday, yes. This Tuesday.
Now, of course, most of the candidates are running unopposed, but there's not much of an interest. But something's very interesting is going on in Gloucester, Salem, and Cumberland County, in the Bridgeton part. And you have a guy called Senator Edward Durr is running for re-election, and the Republicans are running another Republican candidate to try to knock him out. So Edward Durr is facing opposition from someone called Beth Sawyer, who was his teammate 2 years ago to run, and the establishment is knocking him out. And by the way, the Democrats also have a primary fight in that district. Now, that district doesn't include any of Atlantic County, but I know many of your listeners are in Gloucester and Cumberland County, so I want to mention that. But here's what's really weird. Ed Durr, who doesn't have any voters in Atlantic County, he was invited to speak to the Atlantic City Republican Club last week. And anyone listening to Harry Hurley last week knows that Don Purdy, the chairman of the Atlantic County Republican Party, ordered the Atlantic City Club to uninvite Ed Durr, like 2 days ahead of time. And when they didn't do it, the chairman told all the Republican officials in Atlantic County, don't show up at the Atlantic City meeting where Ed Durr is going to be speaking. And if you do, there's going to be consequences. And so none of them showed up. But that whole thing is weird. Why does the Atlantic County chairman care so much about someone who's running for state senate, where not a single voter in Atlantic County could vote for him? And I don't know if you're familiar with Ed Durr. He was the one who knocked off Steve Sweeney.
Yeah, he's the truck driver.
Democrat. Yeah, he was the truck driver.
Yeah.
And so there's another backstory there, too, because even though Steve Sweeney was a Democrat, the teachers union hated Steve Sweeney because they wanted a constitutional amendment that would force automatic real estate tax increases in New Jersey to bail out the insolvent teacher pension fund. And for years, Steve Sweeney didn't do it. And so for years, the teachers union went out of its way to knock out Steve Sweeney, and it finally succeeded by using this, Ed Durr, the truck driver, as a way to do it. So that's interesting. That's going on. So, but why they're out to get Ed Durr, I don't know. The official reason given was that Ed Durr supposedly, made some comments on Facebook 3 or 4 years ago that were critical of Muslims or Islam. And, of course, I know pretty much about that because I was disowned by the Republican Party for saying the same things. And just to be clear, when you criticize doctrines of a religion, where terrorists use that doctrine to justify the terrorism, I don't think that's bigotry. I don't think that's hatred. You're just stating a fact. And the fact is that Islam is fundamentally different from Judaism, Christianity, Buddhism, and Hinduism in two important ways. Number one, in Islam, there's no progress or change. And anyone would agree with this, that what Muhammad said 1,400 years ago cannot be disputed or questioned. Jews and Christians always say, if Moses were alive today, he'd do this. If Jesus were alive today, he'd do that. But if you say if Muhammad were alive today, he would be a little more understanding. If you say that, you're making yourself a prophet, and you could be killed, according to many of the radicals. And the other thing is, there's no love your neighbor as yourself in Islam. If you're not a believer, you can be tolerated as long as you show proper respect for Islam. But if you don't show proper respect, then you're like an enemy, and you could be killed or robbed or enslaved. And we learned that story from the Richard Summers and the Barbary Pirates. So what Ed Durr said was nothing more than what any scholar, what anyone who understands their religion said, and why they would say, oh, if he comes and speaks to Atlantic City, no Republican official is allowed to go to that meeting. I'm trying to figure out. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So maybe some of your listeners who listen to Harry Hurley during the week or who know the inside story could call in and let us know what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't understand it either. I mean, wouldn't the Republicans want him to win? I mean, it doesn't.
Well, actually, that goes to a bigger story. There's a big power struggle going on within the Republican Party right now, and you see that with the wind turbine argument. Because what you're seeing is the big spending, big government construction contractors, the big unions, they're basically taking over the New Jersey Republican Party, and that's the Chris Christie wing of the party. This is going on in Morris County. It's going on in Sussex County. You have all those battles. And you see that here at the Shore because most Republicans, in fact, most everybody who lives near the Shore knows how horrible those 400 wind turbines are going to be, costing $10 million a piece, and a total of $4 billion that are going to double or triple electric rates. Turn our Jersey Shore into an industrial park. We all know how bad it is, but yet many Republicans and Democrats who are backed by the big construction worker unions, the contractors, the insiders, the people who borrow the money, they're for it, and these people donate lots of money to both the Republican and the Democratic parties. So I'm very curious if maybe that is, if maybe Purdy didn't do that. I strongly doubt that Purdy did this on his own. I almost am convinced that he got a phone call from somebody in North Jersey to do this. But again, that's open for discussion, and we'll find out. Speaking of wind turbines, we ran out of our postcards last week, but we just printed 5,000 more. And after you could pick them up at our Liberty and Prosperity breakfast on Saturday morning, but also they'll be in a plastic bin at what used to be my law office at Maryland Avenue and Shore Road in Summers Point, and just take as many cards as you can. The debt ceiling deal that was made, the federal government is now just like a reckless family taking out new credit cards to borrow money so you can make the minimum payments on your old card.
Yeah.
And I spent 40 years as a bankruptcy attorney and a divorce attorney with families who got themselves into this situation, and it does not end well. It gets very ugly, and until we face up to the fact that the government can't give you everything you want, this is not going to end well. And I guess the final point, on Sunday, June 11th, which is 1 week from tomorrow, the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, is going to be holding a presentation for high school students and middle school students on how to, quote, respond to anti-Semitic behavior, including injustices in school and social media. So I was genuinely curious as to what the presentation would be about, whether they talk about the hateful commencement speech denouncing Israel and calling for the destruction of Israel at the Law School of City College in New York last week, or will it be about the people who are beating up and attacking Jews in Brooklyn, New York, and Lakewood, New Jersey? Will they talk about the Muslim immigrant who threatened to kill Jews at synagogues last November? Or will they blame only so-called white supremacists and the extreme right? And will they use this seminar to promote the woke Democrat agenda? And the short answer is I won't find out, because even though I applied to listen in on this seminar, the day after the flyers appeared, I got a call, or rather an email, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Grossman, you can't attend because they're all sold out and there's no more room in the seminar." So if anybody has a chance to go to the seminar, you could tell us, call into John DeMasi, and you tell me whether it's promoting, whether it's there to protect Jews or the seminar is there to promote woke Democrats. We'll find out. Anyway, went long again.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a great week, and let me get back to the Liberty and Prosperity meeting at Sal's now going on.
Okay. Thanks, Seth. Seth Grossman, Liberty and Prosperity. LibertyandProsperity.com is the website. The meeting happening now till 10:30 every Saturday at Sal's Coal Fire Pizza. I'm John DeMasi. It's Talk with a Purpose every Saturday, 9 till noon, WPG, Talk Radio 95.5. We will begin the program with callers, John, Bob, and Craig, and maybe you. 609-407-1450. Back with more after these words.
When it comes to you and your family's financial wellness, there are so many things to talk about. We could go on forever. To help guide you along the way, Joe Yakovich has written a book called The Heart of Your Money, Inspiration for Financial Wellness. In the book, Joe talks about longevity, inflation, retirement surprises, and many other topics. For your free copy of The Heart of Your Money, call the office of Joe Yakovich at JML Financial at 856-751-1771 or email Joe at jyakovich@brokersifs.com. For over 37 years, Joe Yakovich has been helping families throughout the area navigate the difficulties of a sound financial plan. You'll find Joe's approach to be different and not just the cookie-cutter methods that are prevalent in today's world. The path to your financial wellness and or retirement starts with a call to Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. 856-751-1771. 856-751-1771. Or email Joe at jyakovich@brokersifs.com. Joe Yakovich is registered with and securities and investment advisory services are offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC. Member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
Let's get started here on Talk with a Purpose. Let's talk to John in Ocean City. John, good morning. Welcome to Talk with a Purpose.
Yes, good morning. How about if the hat-filled Democrats and us McCoy Republicans just bury the hatchet just once, and we all come out in force and vote in Bobby Kennedy Jr.? I'm down with it. Nah, maybe not. Anyway, I like his act. I dig his act, man. Anyway, I'm still trying to figure out who corrected me 2 weeks back when I brought the French Revolution. Now, it wasn't Cali Dave, because Cali Dave was off the mark. Actually, if we should have aided and abetted anyone, we should have aided and abetted King Louis XVI, who gave us financial and military support, and not the Jacobin clubs, which fomented the French Revolution. And also, was Al from Corbin City said our revolution was about natural law under God. Well, that's true. We were endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are endowed by our Creator with unalienable rights. Among them are liberty, life, and the pursuit of happiness. Anyway, so I don't disagree with that at all. But there's also natural law that's not under God, and that was Clinton Roosevelt in his 1841 treatise, The Science of Government, founded on natural law. And actually, he could have sued Karl Marx for plagiarism with his 1848 Communist Manifesto. Now, a critique of that book was put out by Emanuel Mann Josephson, written in 1957, entitled Roosevelt's Communist Manifesto. I just want to read this line, a couple lines out of it, an introduction. Communism has been a vital factor in American politics since the very birth of our republic. In the early days, communism was called, in quotes, Illuminism. It was promoted and propagandized by a secret conspiratorial organization that was named the Order of the Illuminati, and was dedicated professedly to bringing about in quotes, a new social order, or, in quotes, New Deal. Actually, its purpose was to overthrow governments throughout the world by revolution and to gain for its bosses worldwide dictatorship, one world. That's communism. Now, anyway, I wanted to read just a couple lines from William Guy Carr. Now, the background of William Guy Carr, he was commander of the Royal Canadian Navy, which is equivalent to Admiral, when he fought Adolf Hitler's war machine. After he retired from the Navy, he circuit lectured across the 49th parallel. He was preaching against Illuminism and communism. Now, this is just a couple lines out of here. In order to defame Marie Antoinette, Weishaupt, the organizer of the Illuminati, thought up the idea of the diamond necklace. At that time, the financial resources of France were at their lowest ebb, and the government of France was begging the international money barons to grant them further credit. A secret agent of the arch conspirators ordered a fabulous diamond necklace to be made by the court jewelers. The order for this necklace, the estimated value of which was 250,000 livres, which is about 313,000 American dollars, was placed in the name of the Queen. So they supposedly she accepted this. She refused the gift, but they passed the gift around, this fabulous diamond necklace around to the public, and they said, "Hey, see what your Queen's up to?" And they accused her of multiple amorous affairs with many men So she's whoring around and she's living extravagantly and accepting all these extravagant gifts. But the people that fomented that were the Parisian Jacobins, the Jacobin clubs of Paris, which were Illuminists, members of the Order of the Illuminati. It's provable. And they were not poor. Just like the masterminds of the Bolshevik Revolution were actually Vladimir Lenin from an upper-middle-class family and Leon Trotsky from an upper-class family. So they actually stirred up the poor against, they're saying, you're the have-nots, but if you help us, you won't be have-nots any longer. But then the snare was set. Once that snare was trapped, once that snare slung tight on the populace, they were enslaved to communism. So that's what we're up against here. We're actually up against people working from behind the scenes to bring about a communist New World Order in America. And yeah, we have to vote correctly. That's for sure. So that's why I have to say thanks.
Thanks a lot, John. Well said and well thought out and really well delivered. Boy, the threat of communism is real, I guess. The more we see and the more we read and the more we hear. Talk with a Purpose is the show. Saturdays 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. I'm John DeMasi. Bob and Craig and maybe you at 609-407-1450. We'll get back to more of Talk with a Purpose in just a moment. But first, I want to tell you about BF Mazzeo. And BF Mazzeo has a new text messaging service, and it started this week. And here's what you do. You text your phone number to 855-910-1246. 855-910-1246. And with that, you will get text messages weekly or biweekly or whatever. And there'll be specials and coupons that you won't get anywhere else. So you want to do that. And as far as BF Mazzeo is concerned, have you seen this watermelon tower? I mean, this is really, it's a tower made out of watermelon. It's real. It's unbelievable how they do that, but they do. And that would be a perfect gift, whether you want to give it for Father's Day or for a graduate or whatever. It's kind of a unique and perfect gift. BF Mazzeo, the home of the finest fresh fruit and produce you'll find anywhere. 601 New Road in Northfield and online at bfmazzeo.com, bfmazzeo.com. And you know, with the heat that we had yesterday, who feels like cooking? Well, I mean, I don't feel like cooking anytime, but but I mean, especially in 90-degree weather. But what you want to do is head over to BF Mazzeo and you look at there is a wide array of prepared foods. And there's bound to be something you like, whether it's pasta or salmon or many, many different kinds of dishes. Too numerous to mention here, but you want to check it out there. Baked goods, prepared foods, you name it, they've got it. BF Mazzeo, 601 New Road in Northfield, and again, online at bfmazzeo.com. And don't forget that text messaging service. Text your number to 855-910-1246, and you'll be on that list, and you'll get the specials periodically, and nobody else will get them. It's very simple. 855-910-1246. BF Mazzeo, bfmazzeo.com is the website. Coming back with more Talk with a Purpose in just a moment.
If you're interested in driving one of the finest automobiles on the market today, then you'll want to check out all of the fabulous new and pre-owned Lexus at Lexus of Atlantic City. Lexus of Atlantic City, 3169 Fire Road in EHT. Driving a Lexus is like no other vehicle on the market. Test drive one for yourself at Lexus of Atlantic City. Whether it's new or pre-owned, you'll be more than satisfied. In fact, Lexus is consistently #1 when it comes to customer satisfaction. Visit Lexus of Atlantic City, 3169 Fire Road in EHT. Or you can check out their outstanding selection of new, pre-owned, and L-certified pre-owned vehicles on their website, LexusOfAtlanticCity.com. That's LexusOfAtlanticCity.com. Or, if you want more information, call 609-641-0008. Lexus of Atlantic City, now celebrating their 26th year in the area. A dealership that you'll enjoy. No pressure, no gimmicks, no hassle, no hype. Lexus of Atlantic City, 3169 Fire Road in EHT. And remember, always online at LexusOfAtlanticCity.com.
Your WPG Talk Radio 95.5 AccuWeather forecast for South Jersey. Windy today with some sunshine, then clouds. High today 69. Low clouds tonight, maybe some clearing. Low this evening 49. Then tomorrow we'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine. High on Sunday 73. Clouds and sunshine Monday as well. High on Monday 79. I'm AccuWeather's Holly Holdren on WPG Talk Radio 95.5.
Back here on Talk with a Purpose, 609-407-1450 is our number here in the studio. We will talk to Bob in Cape May. Bob, good morning. Welcome to Talk with a Purpose.
Hey, good morning, John. Look, Chris Christie is doing exactly what Charlie Crist. I don't want to confuse the two, but Charlie Crist, career politician, was Republican governor of Florida, then became a Democrat because Marco Rubio destroyed him in a Republican primary. So anyway, Charlie Crist decided to run. The Democrats chose him to run a kamikaze campaign, basically go up in flames but damage DeSantis because DeSantis was perceived as the big threat for 2024. Now, again, that's exactly what Chris Christie's doing. He has no chance at all. Chris Christie is, irrelevant.
Yes.
And his track record in New Jersey was just abysmal. And we know. I don't have to repeat this. We know it.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Maybe we should have a poll in the show here. I don't know if you'd be interested in this, but Mark Levin has two different nicknames for Chris Christie, and one is the Hindenburg, and I'm of course partial to the Cape May Orca, but maybe we should vote. I cast vote one for the Cape May Orca.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like it too.
What Seth mentioned about the Republican donors wasting their money on Christie, yeah, we're wasting our money on Christie, if anybody's dumb enough to contribute to him. But also we waste our money, and I don't recall ever doing this, but when you contribute to the Republican National Committee with Ronna McDaniel, who's had losing campaigns now for 3 election cycles in a row, you're making a big mistake. The Republican National Committee, they spent $17 million on trinkets, okay? And they spent something like $700,000 on flowers. Now, the Democrats, what do they spend their money on? Well, they've got a ground game. They have canvassers that knock on doors of people that are low propensity or average propensity voters. That's how the zombie Fetterman got elected, and the zombie Biden got elected. Their ground game is much better than our ground game. And and the point I'm making here is that Ronna McDaniel was reelected. An ineffective leader was reelected by the hacks that run the Republican Party. And you know who stood on the sideline? I'm sorry, my friend Craig, who's coming after me.
Yeah.
But who stood on the sideline with the election for the Republican National Committee. We had an alternative, and her name was Harmeet Dillon. And Harmeet Dillon is a brilliant woman, Indian American woman from San Francisco. She's a rock solid conservative. She brilliant woman. She would have changed the Republican Party strategy to make us more effective. Okay. Now, Governor DeSantis backed Harmeet Dillon. Okay, he backed her. He did not back Ronna McDaniel. Trump sat on the sidelines. He didn't back either one. But I think an endorsement from Trump would have gone a long way to unseating Ronna Romney McDaniel. I can't forget the place her maiden name, okay, related to Mitt Romney's niece. So, if we want to get rid of the deadwood in the Republican Party, we just need to do something to make our campaigns much more effective. You cannot let zombies like Fetterman and Biden get elected again, because that's what's happening. It doesn't matter who the Democrats nominate. They could even nominate Kamala Harris. She probably would have a good chance of winning in 24, because our ground game's so bad. You've got these Democrat voters that'll vote Democrat no matter what.
That's right.
Because the goodies are all there.
That's right. Well, maybe we should take a page out of their book and use the same strategy. I mean, but apparently the Republicans don't see that as a possibility. I don't understand it. I really don't. If I was running a campaign, I would want to pick from the best, and they certainly do a better job than Republicans. So I don't understand why they don't.
They've got a ground game. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that Joe Biden's the best that they have, but maybe it is.
No,
and Fetterman. I mean, look, they had a candidate from Western Pennsylvania that was a congressman. Who was like a center of the road Democrat, and the radicals in Pennsylvania chose Fetterman. And to our astonishment, despite him being brain dead in a lot of respects, he won, and he won because of their ground game.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
he had an insurmountable lead before the election even took place. So.
Bob,
kind
thanks.
of depressing. Sorry.
Thanks a lot for the call. Maybe you'll call back with a positive call. Talk with a Purpose is the show. Saturdays 9 till noon. WPG Talk Radio 95.5. I'm John DeMasi. We'll talk to Craig after the break, and maybe we'll talk to you at 609-407-1450. But I want to take a moment to remind you that coming up the end of the month, June 25th, that's a Sunday, it's all good, very good. It's the Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, in conjunction with AMI Atlantic Care, presents the 37th Annual Red, White, and Blueberry Festival. And again, that's Sunday, June 25th in Hamilton, the blueberry capital of the world. You want blueberries? Millions of them. Fresh from the farm, plus pies, cakes, cannoli, buckle, ice cream, and more. Live music from Stealing Savannah, and party with DJ Nikki G. Great food, crafters, kiddie rides, and the Cruisin' Classics Car Show. Sunday, June 25th, Hamilton High School grounds, just off Route 30 in Hamilton. Free admission. Follow the signs to free festival parking. The Red, White, and Blueberry Festival, brought to you in part by AMI Atlantic Care, NJM Insurance Group, Rothman Orthopedics, Truist Bank, and ServPro Team Fabiani, and Adams, Raymond, and Hagen in the community, Alloy Silverstein Group, Archer Law, and Atlantic Blueberry. Supported in part by a grant from the New Jersey Department of State, Division of Travel and Tourism. It's all good, very good. Coming back with more Talk with a Purpose in just a moment.
The Bernie Friedenberg World War II Memorial will be unveiled in Atlantic City sometime in the near future. The memorial will be located in O'Donnell Park in Atlantic City, in close proximity to both the World War I Memorial and Stockton University. Bernie Friedenberg, a Silver Star recipient for his heroism on Omaha Beach on D-Day, will be honored with this memorial. In fact, the memorial will be unveiled on D-Day, June 6, 2023. Donations for this worthwhile cause are now being accepted. For more information or to donate, contact Bernie Friedenberg World War II Memorial, P.O. Box 652, Brigantine, New Jersey, 08203. Or you can donate online at BernieFriedenbergWorldWar2Memorial.com.
Back here on Talk with a Purpose, 609-407-1450. Let's talk to Craig in Northfield. Craig, good morning. Welcome to Talk with a Purpose.
Well, good morning, John. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How's that shelter going?
Anyway, you talk about my little tinfoil hat here. Let's have a little conversation. Bob, down in Cape May, I want to say thank you so much for agreeing with me that you need Donald J. Trump to make something happen. DeSantis wanted to get that woman through. He couldn't do it. Matter of fact, with DeSantis's push, I think she got like maybe 15%. So And, going further with that, since we're talking about DeSantis, and we'll talk about where we're going to have dinner, I'll let you pick between two. You did concede, correct?
Yes, I conceded, yes.
Okay. So DeSantis, with this presidential announcement, only 10% that saw it thought it had gave a positive response. Bob, are you listening?
How about that? Yeah.
Marco Rubio and, ex-Governor Bush, had, you ready?
Yeah.
They were actually competing against Donald J. Trump better than DeSantis was.
Okay.
Well, that should floor you.
Well, it really doesn't
floor you.
No, it doesn't really floor me, because this whole thing, when all is said and done, and assuming Trump gets the nomination, DeSantis will have really, how should we say it? He's really putting forth his name for the future. And that's the way I look at it. I don't look at this as a make or break election.
Come on, John. John, stop that. If he was putting his name out there for the future, he wouldn't be running against Donald J. Trump. He would be, talking to Donald J. Trump, talking about how they could be a better team together, running as vice president and president. Would you not agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, but if he doesn't...
Florida's a big state, and let's face reality, Trump doesn't have much longer to go, but, according to Seth, stop it with that wall there. You talk that he didn't finish the wall. I mean, it's like going into a boxing ring and having your hands tied behind your back. He had to get the money from the military. Just remember that, Seth, because Congress wouldn't give it up. They fought him tooth and nail. And I got to be quick here because we got a lot of bada bing going here. Governor Christie, when you said that he had a better chance of seeing God and kissing angels, basically.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. I just want you to know the people that are funding, the likes of Romney and McCain. Let's talk about McCain. I know people love him, and they talk about what a wonderful character he has. His first wife had cancer, and he left her to have the wife that, before he died. That's who he ran to. You know why? Because Dad
she had a lot of money. She had a lot of money, yeah.
She had a lot of money.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget that, people. It's always about the money. And for Romney, it's about the money. So I think you'll see something come out about Ukraine. But the big thing, and I want to talk about Grassley here. Did you see what he uncovered?
No, I didn't see that.
With FBI, that file, and then all of a sudden... our FBI director said, well, you can come and take a look at it, but you got to come down to the SCIF and look at it. And Grassley said, no. And so, I'm thinking, what file is so important that they got to see this? So, John, I think we got a little breaking news here today. The papers, you're going to die. I'm going to just say it has a little something to do with some hair dye because everybody laughed at him because, the hair dye was dripping down his head. Do you know that we're talking about yet?
No, I don't.
Rudy Giuliani.
Oh.
I knew you'd laugh, right? Remember that? And they laughed him off the stage. You know why they laughed him off the stage? Because the documents that he was working on Biden, were so interesting that remember the FBI came in and raided his house?
Yeah.
And took the papers?
Yeah.
Well, they're the papers that the FBI doesn't want Grassley to see.
Oh, boy.
Oh. You getting it now?
Yeah.
So remember, those people that don't know that Rudy used to be what?
Mayor of New York.
No, before that.
Wasn't he... the
Justice Department,
that's
remember?
Right. That's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And who did he take down? The biggest crime syndicate in the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe the biggest. I think actually Joe Biden topped it. All right. right, so here. You did concede. So for those listeners that want to know, I know we've been talking about our dinner, and I know I'm not going to put you through going to Mar-a-Lago. That would just be too much because we'd have to get a background check and all that.
Yeah.
And those people know that it's very important to eat local, and that's why I love to hear Mazzio's. And I want you to know I did have that beautiful potato salad from Mazzio's for Memorial Day. My wife picked it up, and it was amazing.
Good.
All right, so 2825 or Knife and Fork on Atlantic Avenue.
Okay.
Your pick.
All right.
We eat traditional, home style cooking, and has some, tradition to it.
Okay. You're in. Okay.
No, but you pick.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Take it easy.
Have a great day, guys, and thanks for the time.
Thanks for the call. 609-407-1450. We're coming up on the end of hour number one. Boy, I tell you, hour number one always just flies by. And hour number two, I guess I'm really confused about this whole thing of Pride Month. Pride Month. Now, everybody is jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, TV stations, department stores. We're saluting Pride Month and the colors and I really don't understand it. But then again, it's the woke crowd, and I should understand it, but I don't. And I'll explain as we begin the next hour just what I mean. And I do not have anything against gays or lesbians or alternative lifestyles. Let them live and let live. But do we have to make such a big deal out of this whole thing so that the people can feel they're part of society? That's all I can think of. Why do we have to do that? I mean, shouldn't they be part of society anyway? That's what I'm confused about. Talk with a Purpose is the show. Saturdays, 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. I'm John DeMasi. Hour number one in the books. Hour number two on the way. Don't go away.
95.5 FM and 1450 AM WPGG Atlantic City, WENJ HD3 Millville, a Town Square media station. WPG Talk Radio 95.5 presents Talk with a Purpose. Join the conversation by calling 609-407-1450. Now, the host of Talk with a Purpose, John DeMasi.
Hour number two, Talk with a Purpose, every Saturday, 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. I'm John DeMasi. Good to have you with us. And as always, our number here in the studio, 609-407-1450. 609-407-1450. I missed President Biden last night on TV. How could I do that, huh? By the way, President Biden fell again. What's that? 30 times or so that he's fallen in the course of this presidency? I think he was speaking at the Air Force Academy or somewhere, but he just fell. Well, he's consistent with the country. He's falling down, and the economy is falling down, and inflation and all of that stuff. So I just wanted to mention, I missed Joe Biden last night. I'll get to John in a moment, but I wanted to talk about this. The month of June has begun. We're at June the 3rd now. This marks the start of Pride Month in the United States and some parts of the world. It's intended to celebrate the lives and experiences of LGBTQ plus communities and to protest attacks on hard-won civil rights gains. Now, this year's Pride Month takes place in a sort of contentious U.S. political climate in which some state legislators have sought to ban drag shows, and that's a whole other issue, but they're banning drag shows for kids, So let's put that out there like it is. Prohibit gender-affirming care and limit how teachers can talk about sexuality and gender in the classroom, all of which I agree with. And that's what I want to focus on today, gender affirmation. Now, Andy sent me this documentary, and I watched about half of it, and I'm confused. I don't understand if we're having legislators who are saying, look, we don't want drag shows with kids. We don't want drag queens to read to kids. It's adult entertainment. That's fine. And as far as gender is concerned, we don't want our kids thinking they're a girl, but maybe they're a boy. That's really the issue here. It's not about, oh, we don't want this or we don't want that. No, if you determine at a certain point in your life that you're trans and you should consider moving to another gender, well, I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is kids and spouting it off to kids in school. So I've talked to a few trans people. I mean, one of my clients has a potpourri of people. I mean, black, white, Asian, trans, you name it, okay? And I talk to some of them some of the time, and some of them say they knew when they were 5 years old. Okay, that's fine. But don't have the school affirm it or tell you that you're a female when you're a male. That is what I have a problem with, kids and those under even the age of 16. Then anything after that, okay. But I don't understand why we're making a big deal. Why is it? Oh, I guess I know why, because it's politically correct. But why are they making, I mean, Channel 6 salutes, I mean, it's all over the news. It's everywhere. It's I mean, I just can't believe it. You go into a department store, we salute Pride Month, and all of them are doing the same thing. Is it because they want to be politically correct? I guess so. They want to include all people? I guess so. But I don't understand it. I don't see why we have to do that. It should just be live and let live, and let's go on with our lives. To me, it's shoving it down our throat. When I turn on the TV and I want to watch the news and I see not only they're saying Pride Month, but they're saying, I mean, they're doing stories. They're doing stories on how they made this pride flag. And did you see it? And come on. This is ridiculous. I just don't understand it. And I want to talk about, and I didn't get to the documentary that Andy sent me, but I want to get to that too, because this is, I think, what the core of the problem is. But we'll get to that in a moment. Talk with the purpose of the show, Saturdays 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. I'm John DeMasi. 609-407-1450 is the number. 609-407-1450. John in Ocean City. John, welcome back.
Yes, being careful about what's being impressed upon the youth is actually a clarion call for common sense and reason, actually. I just want to say, whether you're LGBTQ or straight, we all started out as little kids, so we should be concerned about raising the educational standards. We're like at the bottom of the barrel in the world now. We were at the top. California was number one in America, and America was number one back in the 1950s. This is all happening. This is not happening by accident, and it's just a diversion. You know, Pride Month is just a diversion. I mean, there's lunatics that want to women in their third trimester of pregnancy with proper gear to fight Chinese and Russian fighter pilots, man. That's the insanity of what's going on now. That's not reasonable. That's insane. And that's what we're up against. We're up against insanity. As far as draining the swamp goes, how are you going to drain the swamp when there's Republicans in it too? You know, I was half joking when I said about Bobby Kennedy Jr. It might not be a good idea for him to run anyway. Look what happened to his dad and his uncle. But I'm going to vote for either President Trump for a second term. Yeah, I'm going to vote for Governor DeSantis for a first and hopefully second term, or Congressman Tim Scott. They're the men that are going to have to take the ball into the next decade. But how are they going to drain the swamp themselves? As far as I'm concerned, we should bring all those military men across the. And we have 800 bases in 70 countries. We should bring all of them home and put them at the southern border. That's what we should do. And yeah, they're not going to get anywhere with this windmill energy. A lot of them, I believe, a lot of them already know that it's going to bankrupt our country even more. But these maniacs are going to put them up anyway. Yeah, so are they going to listen to us? We had a bunch of people walk over the bridge, the 9th Street Causeway into Ocean City. Are people going to listen to them? We're We the People, but they don't listen to us anymore. That sucked. I know more bad news, but yeah, it's time to make sure our vote. I don't want my vote sabotaged this time, man. I'm telling you that right now. So if we vote in 2024, we got to come out in force. Looks like. Thanks,
John. Thanks for the call. Some good points as always, but I don't know. I don't know where we're going, but it doesn't look good. I mean, you do this show and you hear all these, you do this show and I go home and I say, geez, what did I talk about? Oh my God. Anyway, I want to get back to this. And again, the Pride Month and all of that stuff. We know that. So Andy sent me this, documentary and I watched, as I said, about half of it. And it's really disturbing, is what I'll say in general. But the host of the documentary was interviewing people, and in it they discussed hormone blockers, and this has become a controversial issue among those who are, talking about the transgender. The hormone blockers, they say, are reversible. But according to the experts, that Matt Walsh is the host of this, he said that his expert said they are not reversible. So there hasn't really been a study on that, on whether they are reversible. And parents, according to this documentary, parents have no say in whether a child at a certain age is permitted hormone blockers. And one father in British Columbia, according to this documentary, was arrested and charged with domestic violence. I don't know the specifics about this, but he can't leave Canada because of his conviction. This whole thing has to stop. It just has to stop. I mean, one thing, it's transgender. And I don't mind transgender people. If they're in a situation where they feel they're trapped in the wrong body, and they are old enough to know the consequences or the ramifications of it, okay. But not at 11 or 10 or 9 or 12. No. So teaching kids about transgender at a young age is really a disgrace. And thanks to Governor Ron DeSantis, who, by the way, I started reading his book, Courage to Be Free, and it is a good book. And it's a quick read, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Thanks to Governor DeSantis for standing up to these people. The Pride Month thing, I think goes too far. If, after all we're talking about is 1 to 5% at best of the population, so what do you think? Do you think we should ever, like, talk to the 95%? Like, I'm waiting for somebody to say, hey, let's have some regular people day. and then wait a minute. If you say that, what do you mean regular people? You mean you're discrediting or discounting so and 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 so. That's ridiculous. I just don't. I say this a lot, and I don't understand it. I don't understand a lot of things. But, Frank and EHT. Frank, good morning. Welcome to Talk with a Purpose.
Hey, John. That's interesting that, whatever these people you want to refer to them, what did you say, LGBTQ, RSD?
It's how many letters can we put on that, Frank?
The point, John, being is we just celebrated Memorial Day?
Yes.
For soldiers who actually contributed to our country and died.
Yes.
They get one day, but somehow a bunch of, you don't want to call them what they are, aberrants. I'll call them aberrants. How's that? They get a full month. Isn't that amazing how that works?
Yeah. I mean, it just, you're right. I never thought of that, and thanks for bringing that up. Soldiers who died, they died for our country in whatever war you want to mention. They died. They gave up their life. One day. We give them one day. And we have Pride Month.
What is that called? Tranny, story time hour at the library? What is that called?
I think it's drag queen hour or something.
Drag queen, that's right. Drag queen are well, all of them are men, right? They're all men.
Yes.
To be women.
Yes.
It's not like women. Okay, just wanted to make sure I understood this right. Now, everybody out there in your listening audience is familiar with drag queens, burlesque, things of that nature, red light districts. We're adults, you know what I mean? Usually that type of entertainment, so to speak, was for adults.
Yes.
Since when do we introduce pornography to 5, 6, 7-year-olds? When is that okay, John?
I don't understand that either. I mean, how did that start? Really?
But you don't want to call them what they are. I don't have like you said, live and let live. But I do have an issue with people trying to push their let's say sordid and misguided beliefs on not only me. I can handle it. I'm a full-grown man.
Yeah.
I've been around the world. I'm quite familiar with the. But if they want to push it on my children or my grandchildren at that young age, I got a serious issue with it.
So do I. So do I.
Real
yeah, I do too.
Hey, John, could you imagine? You say, for instance, you said you have grandchildren, correct?
Yes.
Give me a general idea of their age. Of one of them.
11, 7, and 1.
Okay, let's say, for instance, a 7-year-old and said, hey, Grandpa, can I smoke a cigarette? You would say to him, no, you're 7 years old. You can't smoke a cigarette.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, he turns around and says, hey, Grandpa, can I drink a beer? You say,
No,
you can't drink a beer. You're 7 years old. And he said, give me the keys to the car, Grandpa. I'm going to go out and drive the car. Obviously, you would say, no, you can't drive the car.
Yeah.
But somehow, John, if your 7-year-old now, guided by public education, came to you and said, can I take puberty blockers and change my... You're laughing, but it's a fact.
It's right. It's right.
Take puberty blockers and change my... Well, you know what? You're smart enough to know what you want to do. Yes, of course you can take puberty blockers. Do you get how sick this country has become?
Yes.
With these and they are. These are seriously, you can't kid about this. They're coming. They already get our money, John.
Yeah, they do.
Look at your paycheck. They're coming for your kids. Anything that you hold dear and cherish, and even God, they will come and destroy it, John.
Yeah.
Hey, that's all I got to add to the conversation, John.
Thanks for the call. Thank you. Good stuff. Talk with a Purpose is the show. Saturdays 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. I'm John DeMasi. 609-407-1450. We'll get back to our discussion in just a moment. But first, hey, as I always say, it seems like we talk about controversial stuff right before I do this commercial. But there's no controversy at all. Lexus of Atlantic City, 3169 Fire Road in EHT. Yes, they are. I mean, they are the gold standard when it comes to automobiles, consistently ranked high. Consumer Reports and all of those are really the ones that tell you like it is. They tell you the truth. And the truth is, Lexus is one of the finest automobiles on the market today. I have driven a Lexus since 2007, won't drive anything else, and because it is the best. And I tell you, I drive a lot, so I want to be comfortable. I mean, recently I drove in a Jeep with somebody, and Jeep, Lexus, no, doesn't go. But it's their car, not mine. But, I mean, it's a ride that is second to none, and you want to experience it for yourself. You don't take my word for it. Just go over there, test drive a car, test drive two, whatever you want. But check it out for yourself. And they have all kinds of models. Like recently I've seen on TV the sports model that they're advertising. They have that. And they have some beautiful, beautiful sports models. The SUV, which I'm looking at seriously for my next car. By the way, my lease is up in 6 months. So I better start looking now, because who knows if there'll be any cars then. So Lexus of Atlantic City is the place to go. aclexus.com. Check out the website, aclexus.com, and you'll see the list and you'll see all of the cars so you can get an idea of what you're in store for. But it is very, very good. And let's face it, repairs, yeah, you just do the regular stuff, the regular maintenance, the oil change, the brakes, the tires. That's it. And I never had to do anything else with a Lexus. Lexus of Atlantic City, 3169 Fire Road, EHT, online at aclexus.com. We'll get back to more Talk with a Purpose in just a moment.
I'm Seth Grossman for libertyandprosperity.com. Traffic backs up a lot on Atlantic Avenue in Margate and West Avenue in Ocean City these days. These streets now have only one lane of traffic in each direction instead of two. Woke Democrats in Washington and Trenton call this a road diet. They bribe towns to do this by paying for new streets. They want to punish people who use cars. They hate when Americans are free to drive where and when they want. They want us to live like we're in China. This is against our Constitution. But who complains when somebody else pays for something we want? That's why our federal government is now $31,000 billion in debt. Our dollar has less value each day. Learn the details and what we can do about it. Visit libertyandprosperity.com. Help us reach more people. Join our weekly breakfast. Donate what you can to keep us on the air and online. libertyandprosperity.com.
Back here on Talk with a Purpose, I want to tell you how you can listen to any of our shows at any time, and that is by going to Googling John DeMasi Podcasts, and they all show up. John DeMasi Podcasts. That's right, and they all show up, and it's very simple. Hey, I can do it myself. You can do it too. It's very simple. Google John DeMasi Podcasts, and all the shows come up. You can listen to any of the shows at any time. Talk with a Purpose is the show. Saturdays 9 till noon, WPG, Talk Radio 95.5. Linda is in Absecon. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, John. Good show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, pride flags, huh? You want to talk with real people about pride flags, right? So, well, you know, I have a thought on this. And, okay. Well, let me just start with Romans chapter 1, verses 26 through 28. The Apostle Paul wrote this. And the Apostle Paul, who had been taken up to the third heaven, by the way, it said God sits there, and the man whose miracles are just too numerous. And who, by the way, it was part of killing Christians. And then God said, Jesus said, Paul, why are you persecuting me? Ultimately, the thing is, he ends up an apostle. Christ is real. Christ is amazing. And he saves souls. And his message is repent. But the Romans comments on this. Romans, it's in the Bible, New Testament, chapter 1, 26, 28. For this reason, God gave them up to dishonorable passions. For their women exchanged natural relations for those that are contrary to nature. And the men likewise gave up natural relations with women and were consumed with passion for one another, men committing shameless acts with men and receiving in themselves the due penalty for their error. And since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, God gave them up to a debased mind to do what ought not to be done. So the message is to repent and don't become reprobate. Reprobate is a bad, you don't ever want to be reprobate. But what you want to do is if you feel this tug that, geez, there's something wrong here, I've got to get this right with God, you repent and let Jesus cleanse you from this sin. And then we have in Jude, just as Sodom and Gomorrah and the surrounding cities, which likewise indulged in sexual immorality and pursued unnatural desires, serve as an example by undergoing a punishment of eternal fire. That's quite a threat, and it's not a threat. It's an action. Get this sin forgiven and get Christ, come to know him. He'll forgive your sins and give you a whole new life. And if it means expelling that which is in you that leads to these desires, he'll get rid of them for you.
So everything that you said there is really against what we're seeing in society today.
Pride flag. And then because because we had the Democratic Party hierarchy, we had Hillary. Did we not have Hillary?
Yes. And
Obama, who said they evolved. You can have marriage between two men. No. What happened is this nation gave same-sex partnerships, but no, we have people who evolved. Ergo, we get marriage between two men. And our own government is destroying adults and children. They are confusing them with laws that ought not to be.
Yeah, that's true.
And we are spiraling out of control and downward. And by the way, I think Sodom and Gomorrah, I think it might have been a meteorite or something like that. And to the extent, you'll hear that when Lot's wife looked back, she turned to salt.
That's right.
But I was reading sort of like a scientific study on this, where such an event could happen, and based on what is said, I don't know, it was a meteorite or something, some tremendous force that took place that caused Sodom and Gomorrah to go. It's true, and such this particular event could do thus and so to Lot's wife. Evidently, she looked back. Maybe she thought there was something, she would miss it. Don't look back, because there's nothing there to miss. So, now you got me all upset, John. This is hard.
I'm watching TV, and you want to see the news, and all you're seeing is pride flags. I don't understand it.
Well, I think it was President Trump. He said, nothing flies alongside of an American flag. So at the embassies in various countries, I think, I don't know if it was Vindeman or somebody. I'm saying Vindeman because I think I stand to be corrected. They want pride flags, flown with American flags. Well, no. President Trump says no. But now, I believe they may all be back again with the American flag and whatever other flag you're flying. It's crazy.
Well,
this nation's going crazy.
It sure is. Linda, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Greg and Absecon. Greg, good morning. Welcome to Talk with a Purpose.
Mr. Massey, good morning.
Morning, sir.
They're doing everything possible to teach the kids the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
and they're receptive to everything that's being thrown at them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for us to throw a couple of things.
Yeah.
You know, like prayer in school to open the school year, the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that?
Simple.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever. I remember in school, we started every day with a prayer. Well, I was, of course, in Catholic school. And then we pledged allegiance to the flag. And, you know, as time went on, none of that happened. So, I don't know.
Maybe it's time for it.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I definitely think so.
The only way we're going to stop what's happening right now.
Yeah, I mean...
Because that seems to be a wave that just keeps growing.
Yeah, yeah. And to me, the TV stations are leading the way when they do stories on Pride Month. I mean... But of course, Channel 6 is owned by Disney, so what's that tell you? You know, I mean, so that's all you need to know right there. But I mean, I just want to watch the news. I want to see what's happening, and you got to see. I mean, yesterday it was story after story after story. I mean, there was probably 3 stories in a row of how they built this flag, which is the largest pride flag in the country. I mean, who cares? Who cares?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's time for those thrilling days of yesterday.
That's right. There you go.
And we bring some of it back.
Yep. That's right.
To remind them where the hell we came from.
That's right. That's right. Greg, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Bob is back. Bob and Cape May. Bob, how you doing?
Hey, Don. Pretty good. Pretty good. I didn't think you'd get to me right now. So
that's all right.
You know, Governor DeSantis, look, he's the one that led on challenging this idea that alternative lifestyles are okay. And he needs all the credit in the world. Nobody's been more out front on this. But think about this here. If all this alternative lifestyles, call it what you want. You call the gay, lesbian lifestyle, the trans lifestyle. If that's benign, if that's not destructive, then I ask you this question. How do we reproduce? How do we have a next generation? You know, think about it. If 50% of the people adopted these alternative lifestyles, our population would dwindle basically to nothing.
Right. That's right.
And you know, to make the argument that this is acceptable and that this is just not a problem is this is not, you're not facing reality when you do that. You just are not.
Yeah.
I do want to answer Craig again. We seem to have an ongoing debate about this Trump DeSantis situation. But is DeSantis, are we going to criticize him because he dared to go against an ineffective leader of the Republican Party, a leader that just has proven she cannot help the party win elections? You know, is that why? Is that somebody we should just, keep reelecting no matter how bad a job she does?
Yeah.
You know, it makes no sense.
No.
Okay. And, and the people that you appoint in your organization, and even if you're a president, the people you appoint, they're instrumental in how effective you're going to be. They mean everything.
Yeah.
And again, I made this point last week. Even Rush Limbaugh said that President Trump's picking of personnel has been very puzzling. Okay?
Yeah.
So, that's what we need to worry about here. I mean, are we going to get the conservative agenda implemented? And nobody's been stronger in doing that than Ron DeSantis. Nobody.
That's right. That's right.
And we really, going forward, I'm not oblivious to these polls. Fine, if President Trump wins, I'll be backing him completely. But who else on the horizon is going to implement effective conservative government in 2028? So, before we start, making it two political tombstones for Ron DeSantis, think about the alternatives. There aren't that many good ones out there, even the Republican Party.
No.
There's nobody like Governor DeSantis, in my opinion.
No, that's true. And thanks for sending me that email. And if I get time, I'm going to talk about it later on in the show. But, it just goes to show you that they're starting to picket DeSantis like they did with Trump. So, this is part of the territory. That's all it is.
Well, look, DeSantis and many, he's proven that he's really, really effective in bringing about legislation. That's the key. If you can get, that's the key to running effective government. If you get legislation passed that makes dramatic changes, like we've had in Florida, I don't want to go over a litany of changes that have been made, but we all know, it's dramatic. It really is.
Yes, it is.
But Florida, just to make a point about the economic strength of Florida, there were a few months there where Florida created 80% of all the new jobs in the entire country. One state.
Yeah.
So, good.
Hey, Bob, thanks a lot for the call again. Appreciate it. 609-407-1450. We got some open lines here, rare for our show, but we do have it. 609-407-1450. It is Talk with a Purpose every Saturday, 9 till noon. WPG Talk Radio 95.5. I'm John DeMasi. Ocean City we owe them a congratulatory note, and we'll tell you about it after these words.
The market is up. The market is down. I know from day to day, there's a fair amount of volatility. You worry, I worry. We all worry, but not so much when you have a sound financial plan that doesn't depend completely on the market. Hi, I'm Joe Yakovich with this Money Minute. You'll find some real insights in my new book, The Heart of Your Money, Inspiration for Financial Wellness. In this book, I explain in detail how I approach financial planning, retirement, insurance, and many other topics. For a free copy of my book, The Heart of Your Money, simply contact my office at 856-751-1771. That's 856-751-1771. Or you can email me at jyakovich@brokersifs.com. I'm Joe Yakovich with this Money Minute, and thanks for listening.
You wouldn't think that BF Mazzio is the place to go for dads and grads. Think again. Let's start with those fabulous gift baskets, perfect for dad. And for the grads in your life, of course, you'll want to have a party catered by BF Mazzio. Where else? Shop online at bfmazzio.com or stop in and place your order. And there's the finest fresh fruit and produce you'll find anywhere. And now featuring locally grown fruit and produce. BF Mazzio, 601 New Road, Northfield. And online at bfmazzio.com.
Your WPG Talk Radio 95.5 AccuWeather forecast for South Jersey. For this afternoon, some sunshine, then turning cloudy, windy, and cooler with a high only 69. Low clouds, then perhaps some clearing tonight, low dip into 49. Times of clouds and sunshine tomorrow, high 73 to wrap the weekend. Clouds and sunshine for Monday with a high 79. Mostly sunny on Tuesday, high 79 as well. For AccuWeather, I'm Ruth O'Brien on WPG Talk Radio 95.5.
We're back here on Talk with a Purpose. If you miss any of our show today, well, you've always got the replay. Tomorrow, 5 until 8, Talk with a Purpose replay. It's today's show tomorrow. You got it right here on WPG Talk Radio 95.5, 5 until 8 every Sunday right here. Talk with a Purpose is the show. Saturdays 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. I will get to Al in just a moment, but I want to congratulate the city of Ocean City for their swift reaction to last week's rowdiness. I was on the boardwalk Saturday night, and it was a mob scene. And I didn't see any problems, but again, that was only a few hours. Memorial Day weekend saw young people and teenagers congregating in large groups along the beaches and boardwalks. There were 999 incidents this past weekend, as opposed to 869 the year before. The majority involved underage people, ranging from underage drinking, vandalism, assaults, shoplifting, confiscation of weapons like knives, burglary tools, and even a BB gun. Listen to this. One incident really angered local officials. 2 municipal bathroom attendants were cleaning the restrooms when they were spat upon. Do you believe that? So what did they do? The attendants promptly quit on the spot. Do you blame them? I tell you. So business owners say they've reached a breaking point. Effective the weekend of July 16th, Ocean City will close the beach and ban backpacks at 8 p.m. They will close the public bathrooms at 10 p.m. and move up the underage curfew from 1 a.m. to 11 a.m. Will this help? I hope so. America's greatest family resort, huh? I hope it stays that way. But can you imagine? So, but congratulations to them. They really took action, and they held a meeting of town council, and they got all this straightened out. So we'll see where it goes from here. But starting June 16th, there are going to be some changes made in Ocean City. Al in Corbin City. Al, good morning. Welcome to Talk with a Purpose.
How you doing this morning?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I have one disagreement with your last caller. I think the gentleman from India he's an American. I think he's the first or second generation American from India.
Yes.
Who's been running for president. And one of the reasons I believe he's doing it is to get name recognition. He realizes that he's not going to sit there and win. But I think he knows this is a way of getting recognition of what he believes and what he is. As far as, I mean, he's right on target. If you listen to him, he's right on target what he says.
Are you talking about Vivek Ramaswamy? Is that his name?
I do believe that is his name.
Yes.
And he I heard somebody say, well, he would never have a chance because he's Indian. I says, what?
It wasn't said here on my show. No, I don't think it was said here on my show. It might have been Harry's show. I don't know.
I think it was on Harry's show.
Yeah.
And it was, as far as I'm concerned, was an idiot. Said it anyway, because I don't think anybody who's a conservative cares about the color of a man's skin.
No.
Or what his background is.
No.
We care about the policies you put forward.
That's right. That's right.
And I strongly support Trump and DeSantis. I don't care which one runs. To be honest with you,
neither do I.
I would love to see DeSantis. My idea, the best thing would be Trump be president and DeSantis be vice president, and then he could roll right into the presidency after it.
Yeah, that would be that to me would be ideal, but I don't know that it would happen. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, you never know.
That's right.
You never know.
You never know. That's right. That's for sure.
One thing, a comment I want to make about the young people. It's not a majority of kids, and it's only a small minority compared to all the kids out there.
Right.
Part of the problem is the social media.
Yes.
And the fact that they can get all these people can get this information. Hey, we're going to meet in Ocean City, and be idiots, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
What's good about what Ocean City is doing? It's just going to push the kids to places like Wildwood, because unless Wildwood follows suit, they're just going to get the kids down there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, I think that these were some common sense things from Ocean City.
Yes.
From politics, which really surprises me because sometimes I don't think politics have the brains that God gave geese, but that's another story for another day. All right. Well, have a wonderful day.
You too, Al. Thanks for the call. That's a good one. I gotta remember that one. Ginny and Absecon. Ginny, good morning. Welcome to Talk with a Purpose.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. You know, I love your show today, but I love it especially today because I always love it. The callers are all brilliant. Everybody has good points, really, really. But today is exceptional. And it's always great that today is exceptional. I'd like to see Trump be in the presidency, DeSantis vice president. And I think with what Biden is putting the United States through and our people, just everything, the border, inflation, just everything going down the tubes with Biden, I think it's going to come down to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Trump.
That's a good point. You know, that is possible because
you go ahead.
I can't see. Can you see Biden running again? He would be 82. He would be 82. And then if he wins, God forbid, he would be 86 when he left office.
Please. Look,
yeah.
Did you see him bang his head yesterday against the helicopter?
Yeah. And
now, he's been going in and out of this now for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Same helicopter.
Yeah.
Dude, put your head down. You know it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable to me. And then it's just, you know, this is just a disgrace. The whole world is laughing at us. We've got this doofus in the White House. And when he was talking yesterday, Jesse Waters' show was interrupted briefly. When he was talking, he looks like he just got off of a Madame Tussauds wax museum stand, didn't he?
Yeah.
How about those hands? His hands, he hasn't driven a nail in his life. He's got hands like a woman.
Yeah.
He's got the way he clasps his little hands the little pink skin, and his manicured nails and just, he looks like a wax figurine to me. I'm sorry. He just looks terrible.
Yeah, he does. He really does. He fell, too, last week. He fell last week, didn't he? Again?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But he hit his head on the doorway of the plane. Come on.
Jeez.
I mean, he's a very, very, you know, in nursing I met good 90-year-olds, bad 60-year-olds, bad 70-year-olds. It all depends on the person. And once you have a stroke, there is residual.
Yes.
There's residual. And he supposedly had 3 strokes in the 90s. He is
Wow.
a mess.
Wow.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, John.
Yeah.
He's a total embarrassment.
I didn't know he had 3 strokes. I didn't know that.
Yes,
No.
in the past.
Oh, boy.
And I would like to see, I wouldn't mind seeing Tim Scott as vice president at all.
Yeah, that may be rather than DeSantis, because you know why? Because of the black vote. So that could be.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like that ticket. I like that
Yes,
ticket.
I do as well. But I'm disappointed that DeSantis decided to run. I think it's his ego or his wife pushing him, another wife pusher. I don't think he's ready. He's only 44 or 45 years old. He's got time. He's got time.
Yeah.
Why would you want to have a loss behind you? Trump won the first time out. Do you realize what that means? I mean, he just, you know, I can't say enough about Trump.
Yeah.
Okay. And hey, where's this lawsuit going with this E. Jean Carroll? I haven't heard her name in a couple of weeks now.
They settled that. I believe. Yeah. I believe she got, what did she get? $5 million, something like that. Yeah. They settled it. It was, a couple of weeks ago.
And he's appealing, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's appealing, of course. That goes without saying.
Any woman in the world I could say John DeMasi assaulted me in Mazio's. I could make up anything. Anybody could make up anything, couldn't they, John?
Yeah. How would we do that?
Yeah, in the bathroom.
Now you see
behind.
Go ahead. Now you're gonna start something. Did you hear?
Did you hear? I know that it's just ludicrous.
Yeah,
it's just ludicrous.
Yeah.
Or somebody, Vince Mazzio did something to some woman, behind the cantaloupes or something. Anybody could say anything.
That's right. Jenny, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. They're going to start a rumor now. What did you do in Mazzio? No, nothing. It's a joke, okay? Talk with a Purpose is the show, Saturdays 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. We have Linda and we have Paul and maybe you before the 11 o'clock hour, 609-407-1450. I'm John DeMasi. We will get back to more of Talk with a Purpose in just a moment, but it is all good, very good. We're talking about the Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce in conjunction with AMI Atlantic Care presents the 37th Annual Red, White, and Blueberry Festival, Sunday, June 25th in Hamilton, the blueberry capital of the world. You want blueberries? They have millions of them from the farm, plus pies, cakes, cannoli, buckle, ice cream, and more. Live music from Stealing Savannah, partying with DJ Nikki G, great food, crafters, kiddie rides, and the Cruisin' Classics Car Show. Sunday, June 25th, Hamilton High School grounds, just off Route 30 in Hamilton. Free admission, follow the signs to free festival parking. It's the Red, White, and Blueberry Festival, brought to you in part by AMI Atlantic Care, NJM Insurance Group, Rothman Orthopedics, Truist Bank, Serve Pro Team Fabiani, and Brown and McCarthy Insurance Agencies, Glossy Fruit Farms, Hamilton Gazette, and the Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union. Supported in part by a grant from the New Jersey Department of State Division of Travel and Tourism. It's all good, very good. We're coming back with more Talk with a Purpose in just a moment.
When it comes to you and your family's financial wellness, there are so many things to talk about. We could go on forever. To help guide you along the way, Joe Yakovich has written a book called The Heart of Your Money, Inspiration for Financial Wellness. In the book, Joe talks about longevity, inflation, retirement surprises, and many other topics. For your free copy of The Heart of Your Money, call the office of Joe Yakovich at JML Financial at 856-751-1771 or email Joe at jyakovich@brokersifs.com. For over 37 years, Joe Yakovich has been helping families throughout the area navigate the difficulties of a sound financial plan. You'll find Joe's approach to be different and not just the cookie-cutter methods that are prevalent in today's world. The path to your financial wellness and or retirement starts with a call to Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. 856-751-1771. 856-751-1771. Or email Joe at jyakovich@brokersifs.com. Joe Yakovich is registered with, and securities and investment advisory services are offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC. Member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
Okay, we've got a couple of minutes and we got to squeeze all these calls in. Let's see if we can do it. Linda and Apseek. And Linda, good morning. Welcome back.
Oh, thanks, John. You know, John, Kamala called, during the primary, Kamala called now President, but Biden a racist. And you know, she could have been vice president. Oh, wait a minute. She was and is. So it's so Lester Holt said, you know, you call Biden a racist. She says it's a primary, and so again, he reiterates it, and so she said the same thing. It's a primary, and that's what it is. It's going to get a little tough, but you know how bad we get.
Yeah.
We don't call somebody a racist. We say you have low energy. That is what Trump said about Jeb. Called him low energy, and Jeb never recovered. That's so, it's ridiculous. It's so minor. And we're getting ridiculous talking about, DeSantis and Trump. I mean, really, it's a primary.
Yeah.
It's going to get a little rough.
They're going to fight it out. That's right. That's right.
Just hold on.
That's right. That's right.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, Linda. Paul and EHT. Paul, good morning. Welcome to Talk with a Purpose.
I would love to see Trump and DeSantis take it too, but I don't think it'll happen. I think it would be great. I called you last week about May 28th, and it seems like that didn't happen either. And my beloved Phillies spent a lot of money during the off season, and now they stink.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Talk to you later.
That's
Bye-bye.
true. That's true. They do stink. They lost again last night. Oh, boy. DJ in Summers Point. DJ, good morning. Welcome to Talk with a Purpose.
How you doing, John?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good. I'm glad to hear that you mentioned Ocean City a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
That's my former alma mater. What Ocean City had to do in tweaking their laws and doing this backpack thing and beach curfew that they never had.
Yeah.
They had to do this to try to combat, the change in the laws.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, they're going about, not Ocean City, the people that know what happened in February 2021 when they eliminated alcohol penalties, basically,
yeah,
that alcohol under 20, it's got to be changed, and nobody's addressing it. These legislators that put their name on that bill have to be removed from office, have to be attacked day in and day out, because what is going on along the coast and other towns is a result of their actions.
That's right.
And these actions were so stupid. They never think about down the road, the real ramifications.
That's right.
And they never have the guts to say, you know what, we screwed this up. What they did do, they realized with the minors thing, and minors couldn't have their parents told, they changed that within 30 days of passing that stuff back in February.
Yeah.
Because they knew it was really dumb.
That's right.
I was down in Florida when they did this, and the talk shows down there say, is this state stupid? How can you have law and order when there's no penalties?
Yeah.
And that's what you got now.
Yeah. That's right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They should have tweaked the laws. They were kowtowing to some of the minorities in the wake of George Floyd. Well, that's fine. But they could have tweaked the laws that were on the books.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And I knew the laws pretty good because I taught them for 30 years. Right? And they didn't listen to the professionals.
Yeah. Common sense, it's common sense.
No backpacks on the board after it. All this because some stupid people, and I call them stupid. I like to call them more, but I don't want to give it a point. What I'm saying. They didn't think about the big picture, and this is right up there with. This is even worse than bail reform,
which is a disaster.
Right?
Disaster.
There you go. Why? And here's the thing: you can change the law, okay?
Yeah.
But then again, you can change it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
That's right.
And the thing, and I know you're coming up on the break, but the thing is, they really screwed this up.
Yes, they did.
They don't know how bad. And all you got to do is say, you know what? Let's re-examine this.
That's right. That's right. We should do that. We should do that.
And
DJ.
Everybody will. How would you like to be in this day and age as a teenager, John?
Oh, man.
Knowing you could go to Ocean City, Sea Isle, Avalon, Atlantic City, Seaside Heights, no matter what, Asbury Park, party like a crazy man, and nothing's going to happen to you.
That's right. DJ, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Talk with the purpose of the show, Saturdays 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. Hour number 2 in the books. Hour number 3 on the way. Don't go away.
95.5 FM and 1450 AM WPGG Atlantic City. WENJ HD3 Millville, a Town Square media station. WPG Talk Radio 95.5 presents Talk with a Purpose. Join the conversation by calling 609-407-1450. Now, the host of Talk with a Purpose, John DeMasi.
Hour number 3, Talk with a Purpose, every Saturday, 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. I'm John DeMasi. Good to have you with us. And as always, the number in the studio, 609-407-1450. We're going to talk to Al, and then we'll get to our guest, our surprise guest, which he'll have plenty to talk about. But let's get to Al in Corbin City. Al, welcome back to Talk with a Purpose.
John, after hearing that young lady talk to you about Mazio's,
yeah,
you know, as a chef, I can tell you one thing. There's nothing like a good set of cantaloupes. Have a wonderful day.
That's good. That's good. Little levity in the program as we talk about all kinds of things. Speaking of levity, no controversy here. We're going to talk about one of the best festivals in South Jersey, and it's been going on for now 37 years. John Runfellow is our guest, and he's going to talk about the Red, White, and Blueberry Festival, which you've been hearing me talk about this morning, and it's coming up Sunday, June 25th in Hamilton, the blueberry capital of the world. John, good morning. Welcome to Talk with a Purpose.
Thanks a lot, DeMasi. How do I follow a good pair of cantaloupes?
Well, with
a blue from Corbin City tops the show. I heard a rim shot and everything. It was fabulous.
Well,
it's early Saturday morning.
Hey, you should have heard what some of the other things we talked about here today. But we have no controversy here. You're going to talk about a really family fun day. And what is this all about, the Red, White, and Blueberry Festival?
Well, it goes back, as you said, 37 years. It was in honor of the county sesquicentennial. The county leaders asked all the municipalities, I believe there's 21, something of that nature, in high 20s somewhere, that, just have a celebration for July 4th, somewhere around that time. And, we decided, the chamber said, well, blueberries are our thing. Why don't we just have a festival, and came up with the name of Red, White, and Blueberry. It's always around July 4th. It's never on July 4th. Always made sure it's the week before, figuring no use in battling the shore, because you'll see that's king around here. So it's always, somewhere around June 24th, 25th, that week before July 4th weekend. When it falls in the middle of the week, I think it's the latest it's been has been July 1st. It's on a Wednesday, you teeter back and forth. Should it be wave before or just before? So, again, the crop's out. I've talked to my liaison with the farmers. The rain was good. We needed sunshine, and we need more sunshine to bring out the juicy blueberries, but it should be good. It always seems to happen that way. We have a rainy April and May, and that's obviously why the crop is always so good, and the sandy soil and all that nature. Of course, the city boy talking about farming, I know what I'm talking about. But I've learned over these years. But they need the sunlight, they need the heat to bring out the juicy blueberries. And first picking supposedly is around the second week of June. So it'll be a couple weeks into the picking, and we should be fine with June 25th. So, again, it's a great family atmosphere, as you mentioned. There's something for everyone. I know that's trite to say, but indeed it is. We have, over 50 crafters, 20 food vendors, kiddie rides, and they are indeed kiddie rides. They're rides for the kids, 12 and under. Nothing over, 15 feet high. Okay. And a tremendous car show, over 250 cars of all kinds, antique cars. The Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast starts at 7:30. The show actually starts at around 10-ish, but people know that they can come get breakfast from 7:30 to noon. Kiwanis puts on a great pancake breakfast, but the actual everything gets going around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and people start filing in. Just again, there's something for everyone. There's great music from Stealing Savannah Live, DJ Nicky G, and again, strolling entertainers floating around. We always have Uncle Sam there, the still walker. He's a part of the whole show. And, jugglers and and clowns and whatever floating around. And again, the king of everything is the blueberry. I take a very unscientific survey through a little a giveaway, little entry blank, say, win a free T-shirt, whatever. And I asked people, where they come from, how they hear about it. Most of them say they heard it on the John DeMasi Talk with a Purpose show.
Okay.
I get people from everywhere, all around the Delaware Valley. But I say, what do you come for? Well, I really like the car show. Excuse me. I really like, the music is great. I really like all the food. But in the end, in the bottom, they say, I love the blueberries. And, we are the blueberry capital of the world. They can get fresh blueberries, and a lot of people get, a couple of crates. They freeze them over the holidays, over the summer days, and they have them in the wintertime. So, again, we have a formula. We've kept to it. And we try to just hone in on it. You never try to change what works, but you, again, always try to get a little twist here and there. There's always a surprise or two.
Could you give us Could you give us the time? Because I know you said something. When is it open?
Yes, it's a 7:30. Well, again, we get rolling at about 6:30 to get all the vendors in. 8:30, everything's just about set up. It's like a military procession. I mean, we have all our volunteers know what they're doing and get them filed in and ready to rock. But early, about 15 years ago, 20 years ago, Kiwanis asked if they could do a breakfast for a fundraiser, and we accommodated them. And they're on the band field there. So they're there at 7:30, and you can get a breakfast from 7:30 on until noon, actually probably stretching into 1 o'clock. They keep the grills going. But the official start is at 10 o'clock. Of course, there's no gates, there's no admission, so people start filing in at 9:30, 10 o'clock. But it's officially 10 to 4 when everything starts filing out of bed.
Okay.
So it's 6 hours. In the middle of the day is the king. When the opening ceremonies are at noon. And, we just have to thank everybody. There's so many people involved. So obviously we have sponsors who are fantastic, have been with us for many years. The state of New Jersey just supports us through the Division of Tourism, the farmers, and the town of Hamilton, the Board of Education, the Highway Department, the police. They all get together to help us out, and I couldn't do it, obviously, without the volunteers from the Chamber who also get us, the civic groups, and the National Honor Society. The kids need some hours of community service, and they come here. And these kids are, the future of America. When you look at the kids from NHS, some of these kids say, they have like a 3 or 4 hour window they're supposed to work, and I know half of them say, well, I'll stay for the rest of the day. It's amazing. So, we couldn't do it without them. I'm up in years. I'm over 40. You don't even realize that.
Yeah, well, you're older than me. You're one of the few people on this show that are older than me.
That's hard. That's very hard to take.
That's right.
It's the truth, but it's hard to take. Really.
I wanted to just say to those who are considering going, you got to get there early, because I went with my niece and I made the mistake of waiting for her. So we get there a couple of years ago. We get there at like 2 o'clock, and everything's gone. Just about. It was like, well, I couldn't have blueberry this or blueberry that. So talk about getting there early, because you tend to run out sometimes.
Well, again, it's a crapshoot. If we get a weekend like this one, I understand it's going to be about 80-ish tomorrow and sunny. You just don't know. We know from years past. I always have been, both of us in advertising for many years. We sell about or over 700, 750 flats of blueberries. So there's approximately 200 berries in a pint. So when you start calculating, 12 pints on a crate, and then it comes out to over 1 million blueberries. But again, it's a guess. Some years we have a few left over, which we dole out to volunteers, and actually some of the vendors we give out, a pack of blueberries to. But some years we do sell out, and late in the day, and it's unfortunate. But again, it is a crapshoot. We can't go back to the farms at 3:00 in the afternoon and get more. We pick them up at about 6:00 in the morning, so they are indeed the freshest you can possibly get. And I want to remind everyone also, again, there are free jitney rides from our parking lots. So, indeed, there's a huge handicapped area also for people who need that service. So there's free parking all around the school, and then there's free parking at the middle school, which is a block away, but then they'll have the jitneys there to take you into the main area. Again, we just pride ourselves on having a family day. Again, you can bring grandpa or the kids and everybody in between. There's free parking and it's free admission. You really don't have to spend a penny, but I dare you to come in and not spend a penny because there's so much going on, So, again, I didn't mention the blueberry pie eating contest. It is, you don't win like a trip to Disney World, but it's for kids 12 and under, and they just love to get themselves slopped up. And, it's the photo op of the day. Everyone, would you guys took a picture of the kids with the blueberries on their face, but it's a lot of fun. And, again, it's the formula that we've kept going for many years. And, again, if you like blueberries, if you like a day with the family, it's a place to go. Right, it's at the high school, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that. It's right off Route 30, Hamilton High School grounds. If you ever have taken your son or daughter to a game, whether it be softball, baseball, football, tennis, soccer, it's the Hamilton High School grounds field, right across from, actually adjacent to the concession stand of the football field. Right, that's where the Old Forks Road is, right off there, Route 30. And again,
and free parking?
You can get there from anywhere.
Free parking?
Free parking. I mean, there are areas where, if you've ever gone to a football game there or a game from any areas, there's some places where they charge, people do, but our parking areas are free. And we can't control anyone else. If they want to say, have free parking in their front yard and pay $5 because it's across the street, we can't stop that. But our parking is free. It's at the high school. It's the elementary school parking lot, the high school parking lot, and the middle school parking lot. They're all free parking, and there's jitneys that'll take you into the main area of the festival. So, again, just look for that, and that's what it says in all the ads, free parking, and follow signs to free festival parking. And there are jitney rides there that will take you from the remote parking areas into the main festival grounds. So that's about it. If you like blueberry cannolis, blueberry Danish, blueberry muffins, blueberry bagels, come on out. Start a show.
Sounds good. Sounds good. 37th Annual Red, White, and Blueberry Festival, Sunday, June 25th in Hamilton, the blueberry capital of the world. John Runfellow, you'll be back the day before to talk to us. So we look forward to that.
Thank you very much. Okay, make sure the forecast is good, John. I appreciate it.
Okay, we'll put the order in now. Okay.
And say hello to Al from Corbin City.
Okay. Thanks for the call. Well, how do you follow that, huh? John Runfellow, president of the Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, and, of course, the Red, White, and Blueberry Festival coming up Sunday, June 25th in Hamilton. It is Talk with a Purpose, Saturdays 9 till noon, WPG, Talk Radio 95.5. We'll break a little early here, and then we'll get into what we're going to talk about this hour. Of course, if you want to still talk about Trump, DeSantis, Chris Christie running for president, the Ocean City thing, setting some curfews. If you want to talk about that, feel free. 609-407-1450. We'll start fresh in this hour after these words.
Joe Yakovich is registered with and securities and investment advisory services are offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company. When it comes to you and your family's financial wellness, there are so many things to talk about. We could go on forever. To help guide you along the way, Joe Yakovich has written a book called The Heart of Your Money, Inspiration for Financial Wellness. In the book, Joe talks about longevity, inflation, retirement surprises, and many other topics. For your free copy of The Heart of Your Money, call the office of Joe Yakovich at JML Financial at 856-751-1771 or email Joe at jyakovich@brokersifs.com. For over 37 years, Joe Yakovich has been helping families throughout the area navigate the difficulties of a sound financial plan. You'll find Joe's approach to be different and not just the cookie-cutter methods that are prevalent in today's world. The path to your financial wellness and or retirement starts with a call to Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. 856-751-1771. 856-751-1771. Or email Joe at jyakovich@brokersifs.com.
You wouldn't think that BF Mazzio is the place to go for dads and grads. Think again. Let's start with those fabulous gift baskets, perfect for dad. And for the grads in your life, of course, you'll want to have a party catered by BF Mazzio. Where else? Shop online at bfmazzio.com or stop in and place your order. And there's the finest fresh fruit and produce you'll find anywhere. And now featuring locally grown fruit and produce. BF Mazzio, 601 New Road, Northfield. And online at bfmazzio.com.
We are back here on Talk with a Purpose, 609-407-1450. We're starting fresh this hour, so we have a few open lines, 609-407-1450, whatever you want to talk about. And, well, we got to bring this up because it's in the news. And I'm surprised that what has happened here. I'm going to take you back to the shooting in Parkland, Florida, a few years ago. And, you know, it's interesting because we've had so many shootings, and you got to go, Parkland, Florida, that was the one that, you know, this is what it's come to. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, February 14th, 2018. This is the story of Scott Peterson. He was the school's resource officer for nearly a decade. The question I have here in all of this is, what is a resource officer? Do you know? I would think it's, I don't know, in charge of resources. Maybe tells the student to go here, go there. I don't know. Well, anyway, he is now standing trial and gearing up for the fight of his life. It is believed that this is the first time a U.S. police officer, and that's interesting because they're calling a police officer here, faces trial in connection with alleged inaction during a school shooting. Scott Peterson is now 60 years old, and he insists that there was nothing he could do. He is dubbed the Coward of Broward. He says there was nothing he could do since it was impossible to determine where the shooting was coming from. And I find this interesting because we had 2 years ago, Uvalde, Texas, or was it last year? I don't even remember. There's been so many, like I said. Uvalde, Texas, where the officers waited 77 minutes to confront the gunman. And I don't think they've been charged with anything. The question remains, does a resource officer be held to a high standard just like a police officer? What is a resource officer supposed to do? And should he have reacted to the situation, even though that may not have been in his job description? What do you say? Should he be charged? And again, the shooting in Uvalde, Texas, now that's Texas. This is Florida. But the guys in Texas didn't get anything. And this guy is being charged. And he's 60 years old. Wouldn't you like to have that in your life at that age? So what's the situation? What is right here? He didn't really do anything. And I don't even know if he had a gun. I assume that he did, which means that he's sort of like a pseudo police officer. So does that qualify him? I don't know. So this is a sticky situation, and who knows where it's going to be. I would hope if DJ's listening, he would call back and kind of comment on this, because this is right up his alley. But the situation is, I don't know. I really don't know. And I think of myself, what would I do? I'd never become a police officer. That's forget it. And I never wanted to be. But if I was like a student liaison or something of some capacity, would I have done that? I mean, I don't know. I don't think I would have wanted to get involved in that. So, oh boy, it just is. It's difficult. It's difficult to really say what is right and what is wrong. Joe in Smithville. Joe, good morning. Welcome to the Talk with a Purpose.
Hey, John. How are you today?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. But I wanted to call about this Ocean City thing.
Yeah.
You know, Elvis Presley's going to be shaking his hips on TV tonight. You guys sound like a bunch of old people. Could this be related to the public officials raping the children in Ocean City? The police officer raping the 15-year-old in the back of the police car? The teacher raping the student that went to Texas and we had to re-extradite him back? Or how about the Ocean City Lifeguard Patrol? Not the patrol. Was it the patrol or the Ocean City Lifeguard also raping a child? Could it be from that?
Joe, wait a minute.
Public officials.
Hold it. What does that have to do with the teenagers being rowdy and spitting on the bathroom attendants? What does one have to do with the other?
I'm targeting Ocean City. Maybe that's why they're doing that on Saturday. Maybe that's why the local kids are targeting Ocean City, and it's not happening in the other city.
Oh, I see. Well, that's possible, but I think that's a stretch. You know, I mean, I really do. I don't think.
Can I ask you this question?
Yeah.
You don't think the officers on the Ocean City Police Department that were on the department at the time of the sergeant raping that child in the back of the car, you don't think that they knew that was going on? There's only 17,000 people in Ocean City in the winter? I heard the rumors over here in Galloway. The rumors were all around.
Yeah.
So
well,
you don't think that maybe the kids around here, even the kids out in Middle Township and all that, are targeting that? Maybe it is a stretch, John. But
it seems like it is, but it's a theory that I don't know. I never thought of that, because I don't give kids credit for being that smart. But I really don't know, Joe. But it's a theory, like I said. But I don't know. I mean, they had 899 incidents on Memorial Day weekend, and that's that's too much. It really is.
I agree with you, John. I'm playing around a little bit. But don't you? Yeah. I'm not rooting for Ocean City. I look at Ocean City like the Catholic Church right now.
Yeah.
You had 3 public officials. If this was the Catholic Church, they would be selling the church for the lawsuits.
Yeah.
But somehow Ocean City is immune from all this, which it boggles my mind. And I love Ocean City. I do too.
I was there last weekend, and it was great. But I mean, and it was really crowded. And I'll tell you, but that's not good for business for America's greatest family resort. But
no, but the chickens have come home to roost. I get a kick out of the whole thing because all these rapes I'm talking about happened within the last 5 years.
Yeah,
this isn't like old history.
Yeah,
and everybody's just like, well, yeah, everything's great. America's greatest resort. Hey, okay.
Joe, how's your?
I mean, it's just much like the Catholic Church. You guys don't believe that it happened or something, or let's brush that under the carpet. Let's move on.
How's your wife, by the way?
Unbelievably alive.
Good.
Last year was the roughest. She's coming up on 5 years. She was given 1 to 2 years.
That's good.
There was no chance. She's been given 2 end of life, like we've been told twice in the last 5 years to get our affairs in order. And she came out both times with new treatments, and each time she only had a 15% chance of the treatment working.
Well,
this last time, it's an incredible journey. Modern medicine, God. My wife is, totally into God. She'd give everything to God. I mean, it's an unbelievable journey that I never thought we could get to this point ever.
Well, that's good because we've heard a lot of negative things this morning, and certainly glad to hear a positive thing. Joe, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate it. 609-407-1450. Got a couple of open lines here. If you want to comment on this officer in Parkland being on trial for not doing something, feel free to do that. Also want to talk about, he's in the news again. Bill Cosby, another sexual assault victim, Victoria Valentino. She is now 80 years old. She filed the case in Los Angeles County Superior Court Thursday in accordance with a new law that temporarily lifted the statute of limitations for civil cases related to sexual assault. The law, which will expire at the end of the year, allows people alleging they were assaulted as adults to file civil lawsuits no matter when the attack happened. Cosby's 85 and this woman is 80. The suit is seeking unspecified general, special, and punitive damages, as well as attorney fees and court costs. Does he have any money left? I wonder. The suit also targets up to 20 unnamed defendants, including agents and one-time employees who allegedly enabled Cosby. We'll see where this goes. Oh, Cosby. Hasn't he been through enough? John in Ocean City. John, good morning. You're on Talk with the Purpose.
Yes. Now, supposedly, Scott Peterson in Park, he could have prevented more shootings at the Parkland High School. But how about Scott Israel? He didn't do any time at all, and they say his botched response to the Parkland shooting was what led to the Parkland shooting. He got fired. He never did. He never had to face jail time. That surprises me there. Sure. But I just remember seeing two. There was two competing TV stations on the scene, and they were competing against each other for their 10 o'clock news presentation. And it was two different roving reporters, and one was interviewing a blonde-haired, a blondie. She was a 12th grade girl, senior, and she said she was talking to that kid. I forget his name. The kid that did the shooting, supposedly. And she was talking to him, and he was not armed with it. He was not armed with a gun, AR-15 or whatever. And she heard shooting going off in another part of the building. Now, another competing station was interviewing a Puerto Rican girl, Puerto Rican American, and she said she saw more than one man dressed up in a black ninja-like outfit, and they were doing the shooting. So I'm not confused. I'm just suspicious about all this stuff anyway. So that's all I had to put in. Bye.
Thanks, John. Thanks for the call. And here he is. We called him up. DJ in Summers Point. DJ, welcome back.
How you doing, John?
Good. Thanks for calling back.
What do you need? School resource officer definition?
Yes.
It's kind of simple. It's school resource officers or sworn law enforcement officers who are responsible for providing security and crime prevention services in the school environment.
Oh, so he is kind of responsible.
Yeah, school resource officers are cops.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what I was confused about that.
Yeah, some schools have them, some schools don't. Some schools have private security. All right?
Oh, okay.
It's different from state to state. It could be different from county to county, town to town. All right? But they're sworn law enforcement officers, and they have powers of arrest. They go through the same training. And, of course, in their career, as they move from assignment, they say we have an opening for school resource officer, okay, or officers, and they get the assignment. That's how it works. And I'm sure Peterson, they're saying he should have taken action. He was law enforcement. He should have done something. But if I remember the case, he was kind of like hanging back when that happened.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah. And the thing is, the officers in Texas last year, that was the 1 year anniversary was in the last 10 days.
Yeah.
Of that. They should have done something.
So It's interesting, though, because in Texas, they waited 77 minutes.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah, but nothing happens to them.
But you could say nothing at this point. There could be that investigation could be ongoing, which I probably think it is, because investigations don't get wrapped up in 30 days, and they could do something to some of those people on site because they did hang back a long time. And the thing is, and the response is supposed to be something immediate. You just don't hang back, and that's what you get paid to do.
Yeah. So Scott Peterson could be charged with what?
Oh, you could say for one thing, there's going to be some Florida statutes, but one thing is he didn't do his job.
Yeah.
Dereliction of duty, malfeasance.
Wow.
Right. I'd have to go on and research. I didn't know he was on trial. I missed that.
Yeah. It was.
And here it is. It's almost coming on
6 years.
6 years.
6 years. Yeah.
Well, that's Florida. Florida, for all the strict laws they have a tendency to go slow, very slow. There was that retired captain from, I think, Tampa, killed that father in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Over popcorn or over cell phone.
Yeah.
All right. That took over 6 years.
Yeah.
And the jury found him not guilty. Believe it or not.
So this guy...
Florida sometimes moves very slow.
So this guy really, the rest of his life is cooked, pretty much.
Pretty much. And it's pretty much been that way since the incident. But
yeah.
That shooting, hey, look how long it took to have the penalty phase for the killer.
Yeah.
And they gave him a pass. 3 people voted for life imprisonment.
Boy.
The others said, no, death penalty.
That's right.
Because and only had to have one.
Yeah.
Right. So what's that tell you?
Yeah.
It just doesn't always work out.
DJ, thanks for calling us back, huh?
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, sure.
And I know Joe, I've been listening to Joe on the radio for years. He's probably listened to me, although I don't call in as much lately. And he always seems to have an affinity for putting down Ocean City. Other towns have similar problems throughout the whole country. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. But here's the thing about Ocean City. When it comes to light and when it can be proven, they do something.
Yeah.
And the last time I checked, that sergeant he speaks has pled guilty and he's gone to jail.
Yeah.
When he has his sentencing. So we do charge and prosecute, okay, when there's evidence. And if he said he heard rumors where he lives, well, if you heard a rumor, you might want to pass on the rumor you heard. Maybe it could be looked at earlier, right? But the bottom line is his actions were exposed, he was charged, and he's no longer going to be on the police force.
That's right.
And the lifeguard and the teacher, they're going to probably also be dealt.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Well, he seemed to make a connection, or he was trying to make a connection, and I didn't see any connection between kids getting revenge on police officers.
No, that's a stretch. But, Joe sometimes says things, but and I'll leave it on a positive note. I'm so glad that Joe's wife's doing better, because I've been following the health of his wife for a good number of years, and I'm glad she's doing okay.
Yes, I am too. DJ, thanks for calling back. Appreciate it. Talk with the Purpose is the show. Saturdays, 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. We'll talk to Mike after the break, and maybe we'll talk to you at 609-407-1450. Talk with the Purpose is the show. Saturdays, 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5, and I'm John DeMasi. We'll come back with more of Talk with a Purpose in just a moment. We've been telling you about this all morning, and we will tell you about it all month. It's all good. It's very good. The Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, in conjunction with AMI Atlantic Care, presents the 37th Annual Red, White, and Blueberry Festival, Sunday, June 25th in Hamilton, the blueberry capital of the world. You want blueberries? They've got millions and millions of them, fresh from the farm, plus pies, cupcakes, cannoli, buckle, ice cream, and more. Live music from Stealing Savannah, and party with DJ Nikki G. Great food, crafters, kiddie rides, and the Cruisin' Classics car show. Sunday, June 25th, Hamilton High School grounds, just off Route 30 in Hamilton. Free admission. Follow the signs to free festival parking. The Red, White, and Blueberry Festival, brought to you in part by AMI Atlantic Care, NJM Insurance, Rothman Orthopedics, Truist Bank, ServPro Team Fabiani, Kelly Loader Travel, Kramer Beverage, McCree Brothers Blueberry Farm, Menino's Cannoli Express, and Ocean First Bank. Supported in part by a grant from the New Jersey Department of State Division of Travel and Tourism. It's all good, very good. The 37th Annual Red, White, and Blueberry Festival in Hamilton, Sunday, June 25th. We're coming back with more Talk with a Purpose in just a moment.
If you're interested in driving one of the finest automobiles on the market today, then you'll want to check out all of the fabulous new and pre-owned Lexus at Lexus of Atlantic City. Lexus of Atlantic City, 3169 Fire Road in EHT. Driving a Lexus is like no other vehicle on the market. Test drive one for yourself at Lexus of Atlantic City. Whether it's new or pre-owned, you'll be more than satisfied. In fact, Lexus is consistently number one when it comes to customer satisfaction. Visit Lexus of Atlantic City, 3169 Fire Road in EHT. Or you can check out their outstanding selection of new, pre-owned, and L-certified pre-owned vehicles on their website, LexusofAtlanticCity.com. That's LexusofAtlanticCity.com. Or, if you want more information, call 609-641-0008. Lexus of Atlantic City, now celebrating their 26th year in the area. A dealership that you'll enjoy. No pressure, no gimmicks, no hassle, no hype. Lexus of Atlantic City, 3169 Fire Road in EHT. And remember, always online at LexusofAtlanticCity.com.
Your WPG Talk Radio 95.5 AccuWeather forecast for South Jersey. For this afternoon, some sunshine, then turning cloudy, windy and cooler with a high only 69. Low clouds, then perhaps some clearing tonight, low dip into 49. Times of clouds and sunshine tomorrow, high 73 to wrap the weekend. Clouds and sunshine for Monday with a high 79. Mostly sunny on Tuesday, high 79 as well. For AccuWeather, I'm Ruth O'Brien on WPG Talk Radio 95.5.
Back here on Talk with a Purpose. If you want to email me during the week, feel free to do that. JDADV1 at Comcast.net. JDADV1 at Comcast.net. And of course, you can follow us on Facebook at Talk with a Purpose. At Talk with a Purpose is our Facebook address. And it is Talk with a Purpose every Saturday, 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. Let's talk to Mike in Ocean City. Mike, good morning. Welcome to Talk with a Purpose.
Yeah, good morning, John. Yeah, I was calling just to clarify what your last caller said. A resource officer is just a name they give to police officers assigned to schools. This is Scott Peterson. I am a full-time Hollywood, Florida resident during the winter months. And this guy is a Broward County deputy sheriff down there who was assigned to the school. And when this happened, he was seen on video. They've shown it on the news a number of times, basically hiding behind the wall.
Jeez.
As if he was scared, if he was scared to death to go in there.
Jeez.
Now, I'm telling you this as a retired police officer myself. He should have entered that building to find out where the shots were coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, that statement, oh, I didn't know where they were coming from. Well, it's your duty to go in and find out where they're coming from.
That's right.
But that's, that's what it is. He is a Broward County deputy sheriff. The sheriff's department in Florida, all over Florida, the county sheriffs, they patrol the entire county besides the municipal police down there. I believe there's over 5,000 Broward County deputy sheriffs in Broward, which is the second largest county in Florida.
So he's sort of, I mean, he is a police officer, right?
Right. He's a police officer, just as I was a police officer for 27 years.
Okay.
He carries a gun. He has full police authority. Parkland, just like Parkland has their own police department, he has the same authority, except his authority extends throughout the county as a Broward County deputy sheriff.
Okay.
Yeah, if you saw the video, you would see him hiding behind the wall there. The guy was probably scared to death to go inside the school, but that's just what he should have done, going in to find out where their shots are coming from.
So they're justified in calling him the coward of Broward.
Oh, yeah, by the video that I've seen a number of times, of him hiding behind a wall there instead of going in and entering the school to see what was going on. He has no excuse as to why he didn't go in there. I mean, if you said his remarks were he didn't know where the shots were coming from.
That's what he said,
well, you're supposed to go in and find out where they're coming from.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what your job is.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go in there and find out.
Boy.
So, I feel no pity for the guy. I mean, if he's afraid to do his job, he, first of all, should have never joined the department, or he should have resigned long ago.
Yeah, that's true. And he was in the job 10 years.
Yeah, well.
I bet you he never thought he would see the day where that would happen.
Yeah, well, guess what? Unfortunately, look what happened.
Mike, thanks a lot for the call. Thanks for that input. We appreciate it. Let's talk to Sarah. Sarah, good morning. Welcome to Talk with a Purpose.
Good morning. I hope all is well.
Yes, it is. Thank you. And you too.
Thank you. I'd like to make two comments. One about Ocean City. Part of the issue is that there is lawlessness, and the students understand that whatever they do will not count.
Yes.
Even in the school system, and I've been in the school system, the student can curse and punch and kick. When the principal comes in, it makes things more magnified.
Yes.
It used to be if you send a note home, that student would be worried. Now the internet, TikTok are raising the children and those in the schools.
Yes.
And there is no consequence. They get a slap on the wrist or a release to the parent and so forth. Parents that are involved need to have heavy punishment about bad behavior. They know they're released the next day and nothing big is going to come up of it because they're under 18. Those who are over 18, if they drive and they have alcohol, then they should have their driving privileges suspended. But it's going to be constant until we get tough. And Donald Trump has said this, law and order.
That's right. That's right.
Never, ever go out there and do that kind of behavior because I knew better. My parents raised me properly. However, now the excuse is, well, they don't have any parent, they don't have this, they don't have that. Yet I've seen students with $200 sneakers, and mine is the cheap kind.
Yeah. That's right. Try to find a pair of sneakers under $200.
And the iPhones and the technology, they're all into it. They're all in tune. How are those bills being paid? The parents have accountability of the children's behavior. And the law should protect the individuals that are being subjected to vandalism, being subjected to shoplifting. Because if you go to Wawa and you steal Tootsie Roll, you're going to be arrested.
That's right.
So these individuals who are doing this behavior need to be prosecuted to show others this is not accepted. There's a story maybe years ago when a kid from Pennsylvania went to Singapore and he spray painted the walls. And then I think one of the punishment was several lashes and I think maybe a month in prison.
Yeah.
And Bill Clinton intervened to help that. You don't find crimes like this in some countries because they don't tolerate such behavior. And it's out of control, and we have to start acting and let the parents and those who are the perpetrators be held accountable. And last of all, Joe Biden, I saw that he fell.
Yeah.
He should have fell on his butt because that's where his brains is.
You hate to make light of that, but you're right. I mean, he fell again. I mean, how many falls has that been? I mean,
that's where his brains is.
Yeah.
He should have fell on his butt because if you cannot see, my fellow Democrats, if you cannot see that this country is in the toilet, that you're paying more at the store, you're paying more at the pump, crime is out of control. There's so many areas that we need to get stronger with our military. We're a laughing stock, and people don't see it. There's something wrong. I used to be ignorant and didn't know what was going on, but I've woken up, and you have to wake up.
Yeah.
Because he's run us to the ground.
He sure has.
Money's running out.
He sure has.
In our pockets. I'm paying more. It used to be $2 for $4 for bread. Now it's $3.99 for one loaf of bread.
Yeah. I was in the supermarket yesterday, and the woman in front of me in line said, I don't know how these people can afford it, and I don't think we'll have anything left of our country if we keep this up. And she was talking, of course, about Joe Biden. And I don't think we're going to have anything left if it keeps going this way.
They call it the Midas touch. Everything that's touched turns gold. Well, this is the Biden touch.
Yes.
Everything that he touches turns to mold.
That's right. That's right. Sarah, thanks a lot for the call. That's right. Well, we are coming up on our final break of the morning. Talk with a Purpose is the show. Saturdays 9 till noon, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. You want to talk about the Parkland shooting. You want to talk about Cosby, DeSantis, whatever. Feel free. They're all on the table in our final thoughts on Talk with a Purpose after these words.
When it comes to you and your family's financial wellness, there are so many things to talk about. We could go on forever. To help guide you along the way, Joe Yakovich has written a book called The Heart of Your Money, Inspiration for Financial Wellness. In the book, Joe talks about longevity, inflation, retirement surprises, and many other topics. For your free copy of The Heart of Your Money, call the office of Joe Yakovich at JML Financial at 856-751-1771 or email Joe at jyakovich@brokersifs.com. For over 37 years, Joe Yakovich has been helping families throughout the area navigate the difficulties of a sound financial plan. You'll find Joe's approach to be different and not just the cookie-cutter methods that are prevalent in today's world. The path to your financial wellness and or retirement starts with a call to Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. 856-751-1771. 856-751-1771. Or email Joe at jyakovich@brokersifs.com. Joe Yakovich is registered with and securities and investment advisory services are offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC. Member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
And we are back here on Talk with a Purpose. We have a bonus for you in just a couple of minutes. But first, let's talk again to Jenny and Absecon. Jenny, good morning. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you for taking my call. I am so glad to hear Sarah has come to a new way of thinking. I am just astonished with this young lady. I am so happy to hear her all the time. I like that. It's the Biden mold.
Yeah, it was good. That was good. Yes, it really was.
I love it. I love it, Sarah. I love it. Keep it up. Keep it up. And convince your Democrat friends, because if this guy gets in again, I think the country is over.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to be able to afford to live here unless you come in from Mexico.
Yeah, then you get everything free.
Everything free.
Yeah.
Housing, food, utilities, everything. Just everything free. You can, have as many children as you want. We'll take care of them, right?
Yeah.
We'll take care of them, right, John? We'll
yeah,
take
we'll
care of
do.
everything.
Hey, here's what we do, Ginny. We go to Mexico, and we come back as a Mexican, and we get everything
Right.
free. How's that?
There you go. There you go. And the kid, that little punky, I can't even say it. Nicholas Cruz was his name.
Yeah.
Is his name. He's in prison. And what happened in Florida was Sheriff Larry Israel did not get reelected because they're elected down there. So he did not get reelected for being a coward. They had them on video hiding behind cars and trees.
Jeez.
Are you kidding me?
Jeez. Yeah, I didn't know.
Behind trees
I
and
didn't know
letting
that.
him shoot up the place.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, it is. Hiding behind trees, hiding all over the place. And that young girl's father, who's on TV quite a bit, I can't think of his name. His daughter was, I think, Meadow, and she was shot and killed 9 times. No chance to be alive ever when you're shot 9 times.
Jeez. Oh, my God.
Anyway, Larry Israel did not get reelected. Thank God they have another sheriff in there now. And he's actually from Philadelphia. He's a African-American gentleman. I can't think of his name, but he's the sheriff now. I mean, people like this would go right in. Donald Trump even said he would have gone right in. And you know what? I kind of believe that.
Yeah, I do, too. Ginny, thank you for the call again. We have Seth Grossman, who's making a surprise guest appearance again. Seth, good morning.
Yes, at our Liberty and Prosperity breakfast, we talked about how you opened the show as to why Chris Christie would be running for president, how he could possibly win. And during the discussion, we had some interesting theory. And that is maybe this is what Christie and the Swamp Ryan Romney Republicans are up to. Make sure that if Trump gets a little ahead, push DeSantis. If DeSantis gets a little ahead, push Trump. Make sure that when you have the convention in August, that neither Trump nor DeSantis has a majority, because you have all these little candidates in there making up the difference. And then when you have a brokered convention where nobody has a majority, then on the second ballot, all the delegates are free to vote for whoever they want to, and that's when the swamp will come up with a third choice. Well, if Trump hates DeSantis and DeSantis hates Trump, let's pick somebody unknown to be our presidential candidate. Let's pick whoever we pick. So that could be a theory as to why Chris Christie is doing what he's doing. Just so I bring you the insight of our Liberty and Prosperity discussion this morning.
Well, that's interesting, because if that's the case, and let's just say, for argument's sake here, that Christie gets the nomination, there is no way I wouldn't even vote for him. Would you? So
I can't picture, but this is how they get their Nikki Haley, their Tim Scott, or their somebody else, by trying to force a deadlock between Trump and DeSantis, so they could pick a none of the above candidate picked by the swamp. So that's I think what Christie's up to be a useful tool for them. I don't think Christie's going for it for himself. But anyway, this is what happens when you get about 30, 40 people talking about this stuff over breakfast on a Saturday morning.
Okay.
LibertyandProsperity.com. Thanks for the second.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Chris Christie for president? Oh, my God. I couldn't take him as governor. You know, I got to tell you this. So I was a Hurricane Sandy victim. And, we got that $10,000 because if you're a primary residence, it was here. And I really thought that he was great. And he was during Sandy. And I mean, he won the second term in a landslide. And then he thought he was big time. And he could do anything. And he kept, going to primaries and running for president and ignoring New Jersey. And he lost it. And I think he was bigger. Well, he is big, but he thought he was bigger than he really was. And that's what I think happened to Chris Christie. But I do not think I wouldn't vote for him. I wouldn't vote for him for dog catcher. All right. That's where that's at. But that is going to put the wraps on another edition of Talk with a Purpose. Thanks to Chris. Thanks. Goodbye. Thanks for Chris Coleman, our program director and producer. Thanks to you for participating. And, of course, without you, we don't have a show. I always say that, and it's true. I'm John DeMasi. Thanks for listening. Talk with a Purpose, 9 to noon, next Saturday. 9 to noon, right here, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. You take care.
The preceding program was paid for and presented by John DeMasi.